Gilmer.
Is anybody using this?
Oh, sorry, I'll pull that up this morning.
I was
And I
wondering,
realized
did he get, are those working?
I don't think they are, cause I was trying to plug in this morning and it didn't look like
Have to have a
it.
conversation with Eric about that.
That probably doesn't need to be.
Just lay it across there, it'll work.
Got it.
Is that you?
Yes,
That's you,
me,
okay.
yeah. What are you taking?
I
I don't know either.
don't know. I make the decisions long ago, I forget.
Yeah, how's your back?
Good, good.
Oh, okay.
Don't rub it
Doing
in.
great.
Don't rub it in,
I'm
right?
sorry, but I'm doing good.
No, I heard you were taking something, I thought you were having your back.
I'm good.
Okay.
Go for it.
And the thing we're
Just say
using,
yes.
If you
this
have more
time,
stuff.
we just multiply everything by 0.5, is that all requests are
0.5.
by 0.5, that was what we.
Well, today's 0.5, tomorrow we're gonna go 0.75, and then whoever's on third day gets the whole thing.
Okay.
After this meeting, then you start multiplying.
No.
So I have the breakdown for everyone. So that way, since we do the itemized budgeting, I can answer any questions about any of the line items you may have. Do you wanna start with the Board of Assessors budget?
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the Board of Assessors budget, the only change in it is just, operational cost, hotel fees, course fees with the Department of Revenue had went up. We're not, adding anything or changing anything. We do have a new board member appointed, so our education amount has fluctuated for next year.
Okay.
So, looking at, the 25 versus the 26 was, a minimal change. And I think some of that also is gonna be, of course, Social Security, Medicare, and its comments.
I don't have any questions on this.
Experience with all the labor too.
Okay.
So who would you be?
I've done the across the board that you and I talked about on like the 5%. Oh, yeah, no, that, 10 on that, yes, and then 5 on the, so, sorry. I'll look at
We'll
lots of
be
numbers.
getting pretty close to
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
Next is the office budget. And again, with the exception of salaries, what you're looking at is just operational cost. A lot of our vendors, and again, hotels, education, things of that nature, has changed. In here also, for the itemized breakdown, we have, put in an adjustment for, our website to add some additional features that will be beneficial, to the site, to the property owners. It'll give more detail. It'll also allow them to do some online forms, a breakdown of, the property taxes, things of that nature. So we feel like that'll be beneficial, by bundling, because with all the mergers that they've done in the past with bundling, we can actually save money versus buying some individual programs.
Is that the features that we talked about earlier?
Yes, sir. Yep, they had showcased that at one of our education seminars, and, they're offering discounts for bundling. You're getting a lot more services versus if you just individually went out and said, add this service. So, and then I was also able to speak with our aerial photography company, and we were able to, we can sign a new contract. As you know, we were up for a flight this year in January for 2026. by signing a new contract, because they're moving to a cloud-based system. They're offering a price lock that will lock in our price for the next 6 years. So they feel like prices are typically going to go up versus down. So they're giving us the benefit of a 6-year price guarantee, plus they're gonna fly a section of the county at a little lower resolution as part of it. So, not countywide, we're not there yet. Aerial photography
When you
is,
say lower resolution, that doesn't sound desirable.
it does, like a 1-to-1 resolution. You want a higher resolution at a lower altitude.
Okay.
Let me put it that way,
Close.
sorry.
Close.
I say it that way. So lower resolution meaning a 1 inch versus a 3 inch. So, that's predominantly the Kusawati area, that they'll fly lower, but,
But would be a higher resolution.
it's a higher resolution. I'm sorry, in my mind, 1 went low,
Lower,
so,
yeah.
yes. So, the other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Everything else is, what we've always had in there. We did go ahead and add in a 2026 Ford Bronco that could potentially replace, that we could turn over a 1997 Wrangler.
That would be in the capital.
I'm sorry, 17. Yeah,
We'll print those off for y'all here in just a
2017.
few minutes.
Okay.
I'm just making up numbers this morning apparently. Maybe I should have some
797.
chocolate. I know, 2017. There we
That
go.
vehicle replaces the 2017
Yes.
vehicle.
The Broncos are working out pretty well then.
The Broncos are working out pretty well,
Good.
so far, and, we normally can, work to get a on-the-lot model. It's, even if it has 100 miles, that's still new to us, so we've been very fortunate to be able to work to get an on-lot model at a discounted price,
Good.
so that seems to work out pretty good.
4-wheel drive hadn't been a problem.
Not yet. There's always gonna be some places that we're gonna need to keep some Jeeps, just because there's gonna be some
The
places.
Broncos they have 4-wheel drive, don't
They
Some
do,
do.
but it's the height clearance and stuff, so, there's gonna be some places that, but we work that out internally, if there's somewhere that we feel like it's a little too rough for the Bronco to go, so.
You know that already.
We do know that already, because we visit 1/3 of the properties every year, so we're familiar with, a lot of those back road pig trails, things like that, so.
I do have a complaint.
Okay.
My property tax is more than doubled this year.
What's wrong with that?
Good answer for the.
My floating exemption was
Mine-
blown out of the
Mine
water.
did too. And I complained about it too.
Well, I just did
It didn't
too.
help.
Made me feel better.
I'm sorry, the appeal period ended back in July. But I would encourage you to
No.
file a return.
No point in appealing. I didn't say it was wrong.
So, but you should have received your school tax savings on,
Yeah, but I had school tax savings last year too.
you did, but you
So-
actually have a brand newish house.
That's what they said.
Rub it in.
Oh, so
Rub it in.
yours locked in at your.
I was locked in, my
Yeah.
floating exemption was locked in 2006
Yeah.
when it first started.
And then when you had to
And
practically rebuild.
now my floating exemption is 2025, I guess, or 25, 24, okay. And it jumped a bit,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, you may actually be, 24 or 25 because of your construction date, so yeah. But the savings will come back.
Yeah, over 20 more years.
Yes.
Hey, you know, Charlie.
It takes time,
Yeah.
takes time.
Okay, well, I've whined and I'm happy now, so.
Okay, all right, well. The tax commissioner appreciates your contribution to the property taxes. Bill, do you have anything?
I'd just like to say just a couple things. For those that don't know me, I'm Bill Logan, and this is Mark Pauline that y'all appointed to the board here a couple of weeks back.
Okay, good.
But I just want to say a couple of things about the tax assessor's office in general. There's a lot more moving parts over there than anybody knows. we're over 35,000 parcels in the county, which is a lot, and we have basically six appraisers with a trainee appraiser, which has been there over a year, and he's still a trainee because it's tough to get all your state licenses, and he is not there. So, when you divide 35,000 parcels with basically 6 appraisers, they're busy. And on top of that, we have probably 2,000 deeds to work a year for. You stop me if I'm saying anything wrong. We have about 2,000 deeds to work a year to upgrade and keep update the computer system that we share with all the departments in the county, plus the DOR, because they can check our records just like you can. So we're sharing a lot of information. We're doing a lot of information. The assessor's office has basically become a data hub center, for lack of a data hub center in the county. So what that means is we input a lot of data, like we've got 3 mappers. We've got 2 mappers. One does deeds, and Kristen does the actual mapping on county maps. Theresa has the mapping skills to do zoning maps for planning and zoning, which they've done. She has the skill set to do the zoning of the voter registration districts that they have requested. She has the skills to set up the thing for the short-term rental board for the private property things that they're gonna wanna know about, that we can share with them, because private property, personal property in a short-term rental is taxable. So we share that information, but there's a lot of input data that goes in there. So we only have one person here that actually do the layered maps for zoning, voter districts, and all that stuff that we share. And on top of that, 2,000 deeds a year, I would say. And then up to, from January 2nd this year to August 31st this year, planning and zoning has generated about 1,380 permits, which means that these 6 appraisers have to go out and, by law, and visit these 1,380. We don't have the numbers for September yet, but the ones we do have, 1,380 upgrades, or you might want to call it, they have to physically go out and take pictures and note what it is for the appraisal system. We don't have any choice, that's what they have to do. So I'm gonna say in a year's period, it's gonna reach probably close to 2,000 permits generated through planning and zoning, which we have to keep up with. So I'm just saying, it's a big data center hub that we work with, and it's layer after layer after layer on the computer of what has to be input. So, and on top of that, those are permits that are approved permits or permits generated by planning and zoning, but there's also these other 6 appraisers have to go out and check the property once every 3 years for the stuff that's not reported, that's picked up on the aerial flights, that will, hey, this is new, this is not the way it was last year. So it'll pick those out, and so they have to go check those also. And also, I'm gonna just say just a word or two about this right here. This is basically, as we know it, Q Public. All right, the man that started this is Q. He started Q Public. Q Public owns all the system. They're statewide. They're going nationwide with this, the system that we use that she's talking about right here, as we call Q Public. All right, they are so technically advanced that they're doing test things with Gwinnett County right now on a different system on what we do. So we would probably be about 6 years behind on what they're doing right now with the new technology. So this is right here, what she's talking about bundling is catching us up to this point. Not anything new, but this is something that is gonna make the work in the department a little easier. So I'm just wanna,
In catching us up, like catching us up to Gwinnett or catching us up?
we're not gonna be caught up with Gwinnett, because
Okay.
they're testing them, and that's probably the largest parcel count in the county, the state.
Mhm.
So, they're doing different things with those larger counties. But this right here is they're trying to put the smaller counties like this on this system right here, which will immensely help us in cutting down the time that the appraisers spend what they have to do, especially the Conquer Pro on this
Okay.
portion right here. So I'm just saying, my whole point is, we have a big data center hub here that we're sharing a lot of information with planning, zoning, short-term rental board, 911. They go and use the information that we input. Now, we can only input the information that we get, and if that information is correct, you have a perfect zoning map. If some of that information is not correct or up to date, so it's like she said, we have to go back and revisit that on correct information we get from whoever's wanting us to input the information. I'm just saying, there's a lot of moving parts over there, more than going out and appraising property. And so, those, we've got all those ladies over there, plus the one guy, they work hard. But I can tell you, if Theresa didn't have the skill set that she has on the layering, on the mapping, you wouldn't have no zoning map or voter registration map or short-term rental boards where they can easily transfer the data that they need for their personal property. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of moving parts over there, and, we need just a few things to keep us comparable.
Well, I'm very pleased with the work that the assessor board has done, and also we are very fortunate to have Theresa.
I'm gonna tell you, especially, I've been in the appeals with the Department of Audits, and I've been in the arbitration hearings with them, and I'm telling you, she's very knowledgeable, she's very smart, she's very keen on, if I would say one of her brightest points here is arbitration and appeals with these corporations. And regardless of what, let's just take this year here. We had perfect scores from the Department of Audits, which we have to appeal them every year, not this year. I think they have learned, because they've lost several times in our arbitration hearings. So I'm just saying, our scores were perfect. That means, we get to collect public utilities this year at 40%, which is the maximum. Now, we hadn't always done that, and we're not one of these counties that's in the state now that's under a consent decree or having issues heading into its consent decree. So I'm just saying, I know she's sitting here, but I think we're very fortunate to have somebody that has the knowledge and the skill set that she has.
And I will agree with that too.
I'm just
100%.
Very appreciative of it.
I've been there, and if you've seen her in arbitration with the arbitrators and the lawyers, you'd be very impressed. I was.
Thank you. Well, and we've been very fortunate, with the Board of Commissioners, you guys being,
Oh, yes.
with us, giving us the tools to do our job, to help us get those perfect scores. So, know that our scores may not always be perfect, but we will always,
We expect perfect now.
Well, as you know, there was a
We're
big
just shy of this
legislative.
year. Just this year.
Remember that perfect score. Well, there was a big legislative change, so, next year, we'll try this all over again. But, we always are appreciative of, the Board of Commissioners. We've come a long way. The office has come a long way. And a lot of that was, the staffing, the equipment. We're just trying to retain the staff that we have, be competitive and keep them, because they are good staff. They care about their job. They care about what they do. And we're always just looking to, advance in technology. So we're not trying to be Gwinnett, but we want to make sure that we're not falling too far behind. Everybody is looking for instant results. That's the number one thing that we get a lot, phone calls. I sold my property yesterday. When will it show on Okay, well, we need just a minute. You know, so the more that Q Public can help our property owners to find their information, submit their information streamlessly online, I mean, you know, that's just the society we live in today, that we want instant access. So unfortunately, paper is becoming very antiquated, so.
Before we get too far afield from what Bill was saying, her leadership has been recognized statewide.
Oh, yes.
And that's not a small thing, as we've already said and have recognized, but it bears saying again, so.
Well, thank
I would just like to say one other thing. I'm not worried, but I'm concerned when the Department of Revenue calls her to go to some of the counties to help them on a, let's say, investigation. It concerns me that, wait a minute, what, how did they single her out? I mean, they know, I mean, she's the president of the organization, of the statewide organization. So, I mean, if you've got 159 counties and you've got her here, I'm just saying, I'm not worried, but I'm concerned because the state has already taken notice of her on what her skill set is. I'm just saying.
They can't tie her.
The county would be at a very great loss. And I'm not saying nothing about that, and I'm not concerned, but I do keep my eye on how much time that they request her and what they want her to do, because if they start using her too much, that means they want her. I'm just saying, I'm concerned.
Well, I always appreciate the opportunity that the Board of Assessors gave me and the Board of Commissioners to hold those positions, to help out the DOR, to be a part of the GAAO. I take great pride in representing Gilmer County at these events.
And I can tell you for a fact, when we went to Caveat in Athens, where 650 assessors come in and appraisers and chief appraisers to the big meeting in Athens every year, it's like sometimes you just cringe because some very smart people, as they say down there in Atlanta, come up with some what we call unfunded mandates. Okay, now we just come up with a great idea that we're gonna, y'all go back and implement this on your county, and we'll say,
Very familiar with unfunded mandates.
you know, so it's like,
Yes.
sometimes I'm thinking, why am I even doing this?
Well, just as a reminder, it's because you griped to me that it wasn't being done right.
Well, I'm right, because my property taxes, but let me tell you this.
I've sent them to enough schooling now.
And that's going, I don't know what he knows what he's in for, but
Don't scare him
I
off.
gripe,
Right.
I griped about my taxes, but when you get in there and see the inner workings, I'm thinking, OMG, I don't have nothing to gripe about. I'm just saying.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I have a question. With these mapping skills and all that you have and you're able to do, does that take a lot of time? Do we need to train somebody else in addition? Do you need some extra funds to do that? So I'm just trying to.
Well, we'll never turn down extra funds.
I'm concerned with that.
But we do a lot of cross-training. I do a lot of cross-training as well. So I am cross-training the mapper, but it is a different, it is just, it's more of a database skill set that I possess. There is a lot of cross-training in the office, but we're just not there yet to where I could just turn someone loose to completely do that. So, but I'll do everything I need to make sure the office always succeeds, and whatever we can do to help out other departments, because as Charlie likes to point out, it all comes from the same pot.
It absolutely
I'd just
does.
like to add one other thing, that all this information and data that we share, we are a data hub. We have a lot of information. Everything everybody gets is read only. They can't change nothing. They can't adjust it. That can only be done in this office over here. And every keystroke and letter that's changed is recorded. And so we know who does what. Mm-hmm. Nobody else can do that except it comes from the assessor's office. So I just want everybody, we share a lot of stuff, but it can't be changed. Mm-hmm. It's read only.
And people even beyond the ones you said depend on it greatly.
Yes.
Yes.
Several years ago, in one of our meetings, I made a comment. The state is not your friend.
I agree.
And it was probably 3 or 4 months after that, I was eating lunch somewhere, and David Ralston was there, and he came up to say hello. And just as he was ready to walk away, he said, "Oh, by the way, you need to keep in mind that the state is your friend." So it got back to him. But I'm not convinced that the state is our friend.
Well, we tend to get a lot of legislation changes that, are for the good, but it doesn't stop the manpower that's needed to operate it. So, and that's kind of where we're at with it, is a lot of times, people don't necessarily understand the nuts and bolts that it needs to make it, work successfully. So, and I think, a lot of this new legislation with House Bill 581 and 92 was a good eye opener. So.
And when I came in the first time around, we were in a bind,
Yes.
and, we were paying some penalties and fines, and
Almost
the
$100,000.
whole department has really turned around, so
Yes,
it's
that
done
was,
such a great job.
that was we all inherited that. I inherited from some previous predecessors as well, some consents and everything, but, and Charlie was spot on when he said it would have been easier to pay the fine than what
Would
it
have
cost.
been cheaper to
It
pay
would
the
have been-
fine, but then you wouldn't have fixed anything.
Exactly.
Well, you'd had to pay it in 3 years later too, if it wasn't fixed.
Right.
You just keep paying it never stops, you just keep paying the penalty.
And, and that's what, we continue to try to do, is just to improve on the department to see what can make us more efficient with today's technology, so.
I have something I want to ask about, but before I do, I want to make sure we're all done with this.
Absolutely.
So y'all have any other questions on that, or?
Okay.
Okay, then, one of the things, and this has nothing to do with the budget, well, not directly anyway. Over the next 3 days, every elected official in every department is gonna be coming through here. I wanna take advantage of that to ask all of them what I'm about to ask you about.
Okay.
And that okay.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time
Thank
and
you.
you listening.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you too, for our viewers.
Just that.
I appreciate y'all listening.
You need to take Bill to lunch. I guess now it'd be a late breakfast.
It would be a late
It would be a late
breakfast.
breakfast, I guess.
For some
There you go,
protein.
there's your reason. Comes right here. Good morning.
How are you? Just so we can hit you back when
Yeah.
you throw stuff.
That's the hot seat. That's the one with the buzzer attached to it. That just popped up.
Yeah, we had 43 people show up, and we did one
Was Edward there?
tonight.
Edward?
No, I think he's coming.
Oh, they just got back last night.
We had the safety briefings for the Apple Fest, we're finishing up Apple Festival planning.
Wonderful.
So all the employees that are public safety had to attend to it.
Totally unrelated, but did I hear that they're not doing an Apple Festival car show?
Actually, the Apple Festival folks aren't doing it, but we've offered space out at River Park for them to go ahead and do one.
Okay, well, they used to do years ago, they used to do the car
They
show
had
down
moved
there,
it,
didn't they?
they had moved it up to the Victory Center at one point in time, but I don't know if they stopped doing it then too, so.
Well, they're gonna be doing it this year,
So there will be a car show
yeah, right next to the little body pavilion there.
in the parking lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
parking lot. But I ran into Fred, can't think of his last name now, anyway, he's over on that, and he was telling me, wanting to know why they weren't gonna be able to do it. And, so I got with Jody, and he's got space for it.
Okay,
We're gonna just do it separately, so.
okay. first weekend or second?
Whenever they
First is
decide
the
to do
first.
it, I guess.
Usually the
It's
first
usually the
weekend.
first weekend.
Yes. Or another, but it's something else, that first
I
weekend,
know, it's
everything's
so-
the first weekend.
Oh, speaking of which, I get to be the grand marshal for the parade.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
So that's,
We're nonprofit of the year, so I'll be right behind you
all right.
for pep talk.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the second weekend in October.
Second, third weekend of October
Will
first.
you get in at 11th?
Eleven.
We can get in late Friday night too.
It's
We
the
can even check off.
second and third, so
Yeah,
it's the
I'm
11th,
getting in late
18th.
Friday.
Yeah,
Same.
tell them I'm not doing, I'm trying to build a little house on our float.
How are you?
I will see you there.
Private or public?
It's public,
No, it ain't
we're just
that.
having budget meetings, but
Oh, okay.
are you here for that, or are you here for something else?
I was gonna talk to Charlie for just a minute,
Oh.
if you could give
I
it 3
have to be in
minutes.
the parade. That's why.
Just won't take a minute.
All right.
I
mean,
Bob, you
I'm sorry, I didn't set that. So, like, I have to.
Bob, him too.
Oh, okay.
Got the whole
All
thing
right.
done. I've never done this, so I'm just.
You wanna sit down?
It's helpful to explain, share, like, give verbiage behind it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry about that.
Sorry that. You got to have a big pain for this thing.
Okay, are we ready to do this thing?
Yes, and if you wanna give some verbiage to it.
Okay, so I think I had a big increase in some of the capital stuff, but where do you want to start as far as the starting front page? About a 10% increase is what I'm looking at, and mainly that is, adding a third person, and the reason behind that would be is the amount of safety stuff that we've taken on. The safety coordinator position is under the EMA. They've added so much stuff to that they want done, that the workload has increased substantially. It's not hard work, but it's a lot of work, a lot of paperwork and whatnot. So, but throwing that in there, but there's the way I tried to do it was we get EMPG funding through EMA, which is $19,003 and some change, and it's a 50-50 match. And I tried to use that money, I rolled it into salaries this go around to try to compensate that third position to help bring that on board if it's allowed. So that would cover roughly 40,000 of that position, and I asked for increases in mine and Al's salary to kind of bring us up to where we are as far as the market value. Wouldn't be 100% by any means, but it gets us kind of close to where we feel we should be, but again, that's debatable. I did increase in some repairs and stuff like that, so we took on another vehicle we got one from the fire department. They were getting ready to downsize an ambulance, and I took on one of the older ambulances and had some repairs done to make it a smaller communications vehicle to supplement the big communications vehicle. So some of that repair maintenance is going into that to fund that, and also increase in supplies and stuff like that to help kind of facilitate what we need to get done in that truck.
When you say communications vehicle, you're talking about that big white bus.
Right. We use that all the time, but this one will supplement that in the area that we can't get those big trucks. This little truck will do that. Be kind of the same thing. So we're gonna have I'm trying to set it where it has a little different capabilities where we can pop up a network for internet, cell phones, and Wi-Fi for any kind of extended periods that it might overrun us that we can do off-site.
What have you got in mind on your building improvements on that bottom line? I just wanna make a note.
So that the new 911 expansion that we had, we want to put carpet down
Okay.
and some blinds in there to kind of help shade the sun and stuff like that for the computer usage and stuff like that. So that's what that was. Mm-hmm. The supplies and materials went up a little bit, and I was always, like I said, to help kind of fund some of that stuff for that truck.
Tammy, do we need to add something in for workers' comp on this one?
I think that is a number that I'm still looking at. I think probably what has been the case in the past is EMA has been lumped in with fire. So, I need to break that out of fire. And then there's also
The
the
gasoline.
gasoline line. I think that,
Well, that's right there, we are, right now, we're,
That's
are
something
coming
that-
out from under the fire department also, but
Yeah.
if we wanna break out, that was put in there last year, I think Miss Sharon put that in there, to try to break out, but
and
I
I
don't.
think part of the reason that EMA's been lumped with fire is because where we get our fuel, their fuel system only allows for so many departments. And I think we've maxed out their department number that they're able to do tickets for in their system. So, she brings us that stack of tickets every month and she's totaled them up and everything, but I think because of the number of department limit on their system, EMA's been grouped in with fire. And we can leave it that way, I mean, you know, but
That was the other thing, was if we do.
if we
leave it
want a
that
more
way,
accurate read, we need to break it
that
out.
money
But
would
now we
probably.
can break it out budget-wise and still let them leave it the way they got it.
Mhm.
I mean, this is just for our
We can,
benefit.
and that's what I'd like to do for 26, because I think it's been lumped in with fire.
Yeah, yeah, so when I write my tickets, I write EMA on my tickets so that they know it's an EMA ticket.
So we can go
But
through.
it's still billed through fire,
Mhm.
yeah. Let's see. So I've increased the repairs in the building maintenance, and this is something I kinda wanna talk about because it was 500, I rated it up to 2,000. We have some repairs, to get kinda brought up to, for some safety stuff. We found a junction box in there that I talked to Jim about. It's got 4 leads going into it. They stuck a electrical panel up in the ceiling. I don't know if it was Civil Air Patrol or whoever, but it's an open panel. It's just laying up there with leads going into it, open breakers. So that's I talked to Eric and the cost for that was right around 2,000 something to get it fixed and moved down. So repairs like that is what we're finding in our space of the airport. So I didn't know if that was something that I need to budget for on our end or if the airport was something that Jim needed to look at to doing that. Because we occupied the whole second floor, so it was kind of in that space.
I would've thought it'd be something that would come out of Eric's.
We could do that. Usually that's what we've done in the past, if
Yeah.
it's facility related, whether it's airport,
Right,
EOC,
Okay,
whatever,
so that I didn't
then
know,
it just
so-
comes out of Eric's budget, so I can just move that over to his.
Okay. So that was that, but that was the repair that I put it in for next year, but it's probably gonna end up happening this year. He may already have the budget for it, I'm not sure, cause he contacted Bird Electrical for it.
I'll have to get with him and see what he's got left in his budget.
But other than that, we usually have like a carpet cleaning done, so that's kinda where that falls in, that money kinda goes right there. Let's see here. Increases here. The travel and expense, that's just another thing I want to talk about. We got slated in there for $5,000. We don't do $5,000 worth of travel and expense. So we can kind of slim that down a little bit.
Okay,
We can cut it probably in half, honestly, if we needed to.
okay. That'll be helpful.
Yeah, I never understood why, when I saw that, I was like, we go to conferences and stuff, but it's one time a year.
Yeah.
And it's usually around $800 for the room, but they actually pay for the room, so whatever,
Yeah,
fuel and stuff like that, but there's no reason to have $5,000 there.
okay. Good.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Just for that, you can have
Theresa, the contract services was another thing I slated for 15,000, but that was before we did the changeover from HyperReach to, the app we're using now. We're actually gonna be saving money by about $3,000 by switching. So I put that in there anticipating having to pay for HyperReach and then onboarding something else. But realistically, we can go back down to, we can probably stay right around 11,000 for the contract services and not have to worry about the 15.
Okay,
It's $11 a month.
Should be, because the HyperReach, was 9,000 something and we're only paying 6,000 for the new onboard system, or the new app system. But then we have some other, programs that we use that are the annual contracts that I would like to take out of that, but so it should be enough.
okay. Good.
How about the Theresa?
Yeah.
And Another thing was the EMP grant expenditures that we have in here, that was, like I said, rolled into the salaries, so I've got it slated to go into the salaries, and I've talked to Sandy about it, so that's kind of where that third person is coming into, to kind of help share the workload for the EMA and the safety stuff, so that line item essentially will, I don't know if that'll disappear and it'll go to salaries or how that
I
works.
think for purposes of that grant and the reporting on that grant, we need to leave it.
Just there, because I mean, ultimately, we're gonna show if it, when I do the LEAR, the expense reporting, I'm gonna pull the salaries and put it with it, but like it comes out of salaries anyway, so it'll rectify anyway, without having to move anything.
Okay.
If that's a guaranteed grant, Hable.
Right now, as long as FEMA's giving it, as long as we apply, we got accepted, and we usually get accepted every year, so it's guaranteed money until we decide to do away with it.
We've gotten it every year that I've been here. Okay.
And that's the 50-50 match, so we get, and I think it's 19.7 and some change, and the county has to match 50 on that also. So it's usually right around 40,000 total.
So the salary, what you requested on the salary and wage line includes that 22?
You should.
Okay.
It should, I think that's what I wrote, so we put in for 45 for that third
We'll double
person.
check.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
whatever increases we work for us. I'll be honest with you, to get the third person is huge for me. I could sacrifice something to bring that third person on, it's just, it'd be a huge help at this point with the workload we're seeing. The safety committee alone is not a committee, but the coordinator position, that ultimately in the future is something that you may wanna look at doing either a part-time position or a full-time position outside of that, cause it's pretty extensive for what we're making us do now, so. Let's see, the salary, the supplies and materials was, I upped that also because usually we were using the EMP expenditure grants for some supplies, or equipment, but we're not using that now, so that's kind of another reason why I upped the salary, or the supplies and maintenance, or supplies and materials, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's, as far as the line items, that's really it. If you want, whenever you want to go to capital, we'll talk about capital. That's probably one of my biggest increases going to be is capital.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. You can come on in.
Okay. Well, I have a couple things, I say I have a couple things to drop off, but one of them is right here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna drop something off to Lou Jean.
You wanna share with us about these?
Yeah, so I was making sure it wasn't, so the truck vault slide out cabinets, it would be for my vehicle. I have a tote just in the back of my vehicle now that everything's just thrown in, it's disorganized and stuff. And I carry a lot of stuff to do field operations and stuff, so that slide out is specific for the vehicle that I'm in, made tailored with drawers and stuff like that. I kind of pre-did to kind of be able to organize some stuff and carry some radio equipment and some other stuff. So that's what that is. The smart boards, I got to thinking about this. They're very intuitive for group settings and meetings and live interaction and stuff for mats and stuff that we do. I don't need two of them. I only need one. I put in for two. So you can actually cut that in half. That's usually
12.5.
12.5. So I was gonna put one in that other expansion room, but I decided not to because it's not, I don't think it's worth the money to do it that way. The portable generator, most of our critical facilities have generators. My thought process was on this is if one of those generators go down, we don't have a backup generator, we don't have portable generators in the county right now. So as far as preparedness goes, it's nice to have a portable generator, tow behind generator that we can move anywhere we want to in the event that one of the buildings, critical facilities go down that we need to bring up if that's, so that was the root behind that. A brand new one costs about $60,000, $68,000. We can get a refurbished for about 18. So that's kind of why I looked at a refurbished one for what we would need. The weather stations, this is probably one of the top priorities for me. We don't have means in the county right now other than the airport AWAS to monitor certain weather things, such as rainfall rates, wind, stuff like that. And we're working on a grant right now, trying to get these to hopefully fund it instead of doing it this way, but I put it in the budget in case we didn't get the grant to put 2 up. And with that, it helps us with rain management, water management, but also helps Jody Parks and Recs, because where I would put them would be at the pool and then out at Clear Creek for the first 2, and they're serve as lightning detection also. So for his operations, if they have events going on, it'll alert them when lightning becomes in a certain range, whatever their parameters, we can set the parameters, whatever parameters he wants. So it also benefits Jody and Parks and Recs. We're putting those in also, along with some other departments. So that's the thought behind those. I'd like to have 3 in the county, 1 on the west side, east side, and central, but we'll start with 2 if I can get 2. I'll start with 1 if I can get 1. But again, we are Jennifer's working diligently trying to get us a grant to try to get those on board also, or at least 1 of them. The operating equipment upgrades, that's just some radio equipment that we're looking at adding in the future. I'm looking at doing a volunteer corps for EMA, which would do some stuff for like damage assessment and stuff like that, and that would be purchasing some radio equipment for them and upgrading some of the stuff, the older stuff that we have now. The MCI trailer. So long story behind this one, the county used to have one. We got one on a grant years and years ago. That trailer has since then it's disappeared. It's been destroyed. I shouldn't say destroyed. It's been taken apart and used for other things. The MCI is kind of in our purview. Is if we have a mass casualty event, the ambulances, we have the ambulances and they carry very minimal stuff on them, what state requires. What this trailer does is it carries backboards, bolt, first aid equipment, C-collar, stuff like that, that if we have a major event, such as a bus wreck that we've had multiple times in the past, we can pull this trailer and set up tents, medical triage, backboards, and try to treat people on scene and help facilitate faster movement of people. So having this trailer on site would be beneficial, because instead of waiting to treat somebody for an ambulance to show up or a fireman, we have this trailer there that we can set up operations and start doing what we need to do to kind of speed things along as far as healthcare and patient care and stuff like that. So I've talked to Chief Beeman about that in particular, and he agrees that we need one, which is how we go about doing it. So what this is, that $25,000, it comes fully stocked. That's a pull behind trailer, and I can show you a picture of it if you want to see it, what it looks like. It comes fully stocked with backboards and first aid equipment. We pretty much spec it out how we want to spec it out. It's a small single axle trailer that's loaded essentially, and there's different modules you can add to it, but you can take away stuff too and cut the cost down. But the base what we would want is right at that $25,000. So
Is that one of your priorities along with the solar weather?
it's up there. It's not one of the top priorities. It's an operational need.
Okay.
There's 3 things that would be one of the 3 things in the weather. The next one, the last one is one of the bigger needs, which is the storage building. If we're gonna stay at the airport, if EMA is gonna stay at the airport, I need a place to put certain things. Certainly if we get these trailers or the vehicle. My thought behind this building at the airport, here's kind of what that would look like also, is it's a 3-bay building that would fit on that grassy lot that's right next to where the tower where the light beacon is. If the FAA guidelines would approve that, I don't know if it falls into that. It's basically just a storage building, doesn't have anything but power, no heat, no AC, no offices. We would keep one of my vehicles there, maybe a trailer, and then the biggest part of that for me, being on the safety side, is being able to move the tractor and the lawn equipment out of the hangars from the airport into that building also. So it would be a dual use building to kind of help reduce some liability with certain areas that we have now. But again, I don't know if the FAA will allow that on the footprint, because I know we're in the process of the 5-year plan and stuff like that, and I don't know if that's permitted or not. But for a building and a slab, I kind of estimated the building itself is right at 15. I don't know what concrete's going for these days, so I kind of probably shot a little high, but I put 45 to kind of do everything, power, slab in the building. That's probably the next top priority, would be that one and the weather stations.
So tell me your top 3.
Top 3 in top 3 would be the weather stations, the MCI trailer in the building would be the top 3, and then right behind it would be my vehicle slide out, just to kind of organize some stuff to kinda keep it from rolling around the back of the car.
You mean those again?
The weather stations,
Okay.
MCI
NCI.
trailer in the building, and then my truck slide out. The only
In that
question,
order?
yes, in that order. So the only thing that would change on that is if we do get the grant for the weather stations, we wouldn't necessarily have to fund those out of capital. It would be, we don't know if it'll be a full funding or a partial funding, so that's kind of up in the air right now.
Did you hear that he only wants one of the smart boards, hit the second line?
Save you more money, save you more money, machine.
I'm
I'm just gonna take the whole roller.
So reduced by one.
To start with, we can always add later on, but again, basically that is if we don't get a grant, I want something on board to kind of facilitate some processes. But that's mainly where the increase for me was the capital stuff, just trying to get some different, and this, keep in mind, a lot of this stuff, there's not much of an annual cost with the weather stations. There's like a $300 cost every 5 years for the people that use it. And we'd be able to set users up on it. So Jody and his staff need to be set up to have alerts sent to them. They would get those alerts for lightning and stuff like that to help them run their operation a little more efficient if need be.
So right now, all we're doing is relying on our phone or whatever for
Correct.
lighting.
Correct. And in grand scheme of things, we're using WeatherBug, and it's hit or miss whether it's correct or not. These are true time, real time sensors that once it hits in a certain, we set up the radius, you can make it big radius, small radiuses. Once it hits in a certain radius, it starts sending alerts out to people, especially if they got tournaments and the pool operations going on. That's beneficial for them.
Helping with the pool and the swimming, so we were just kind of guessing, because it's hard, because
Yeah.
the mountain, you can't see the storms coming over that. And we're like, is it coming? It's our radar is showing, but
Yeah, the radar shows, and that's the thing with the radar, but lightning strikes up to 10, 15 miles away,
Right.
even 20 miles sometimes. So if you have, the first one I want to put up is right there at the pool, because it's central city kind of sort of thing, and with the pool going on, you'll get alerts immediately. Once it hits within that 10-mile radius, which I think is what Jody requires, a 10-mile notification that he can be like, nope, call it, do whatever.
when the kids were little, I was down at River Brook when someone was struck by lightning down there.
It's-
Football, I think it was football practice.
I've talked to Jody about it. He agrees. They have a lightning system, but it doesn't stay charged. It's cumbersome for them to use. It's just a pain in the butt, really. So there's stuff out there, but it's not. This would stay live. There's solar panels. They do the maintenance on it. Everything that goes wrong, the county, everything county has to do is pay for the initial setup and install of it. And then it's like for users after that, it's $300. And that's the top tier. You can scale it down after that. So.
Sincerely, thank you for working with everybody else. I mean, that's part of the job, but
Trying to make it where
Sincerely.
trying to make it where things are beneficial for more people than just me. So, but that's really all I have. I don't have a whole slew of stuff to go over.
And you said the grant possibility was for the weather stations, for the generators?
The weather stations.
Okay, that's what I put it next to, I was wondering.
Weather stations. Yeah, so the only thing in question really was the salary and wages, and which we talked to Patrick about, and bringing on that third person over the booth. I know I personally, I'll go on record, I'd sacrifice mine to bring on a third person, just because it's a needed thing for the county, personally.
Well, I don't have any other questions.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Yeah, great job.
Before you leave, though, hang on. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Eric.
Take your bowl.
Yep.
Yeah,
Here,
take them.
I'll get it, Lisa.
I don't need that.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Bye, Aaron, thank you.
You're welcome. See you.
See you.
Have a good one.
Kelly, you're up.
All right.
Did you get the updated version I sent you back yesterday afternoon?
I did
After
not.
Patrick and I talked, I emailed it to you.
Oh,
It was probably like 5:30 yesterday evening.
I have gotten booted out of my system, and because Daniel is the administrator and I've had to keep
The only
his
thing that
email on
changed was
there.
that, the only thing that changed was that, salary and wage line,
Okay,
cause Patrick said that
Okay.
you had talked to him and
I did,
I needed to make an adjustment
Yeah.
on that line, so I adjusted that line to what you and Patrick had talked about.
okay.
What do we need to do though to get you not booted out of the system?
Well, I've gotta call into Trevor to come by and
Okay.
do something,
Okay.
you know. So hopefully he'll be by this afternoon. He explained it to me, one reason why he couldn't take his email off, this was a long time ago and I can't remember, but it was because Daniel was put in as the administrator and you couldn't really change that. So we've kinda had to keep his in there, is just sort of the default, but I got him coming by, I'm gonna let him know something's
I
gotta
don't
get
know
done.
why I couldn't change it, but if you get pushback on it, let me know.
Okay, I will. I'm sure Trevor will get it worked out for me. Okay, so the wages changed, so the only other concern that I had, other than what we have down here, is like I mentioned, the clothing.
Yes.
How did the wages change for us?
You've got the updated copy.
Oh, I do.
Let's see, this
It went
one.
down.
Okay, no, you don't have the updated copy. Let me go, I changed that late yesterday, and then I'll print new copies.
Thank you.
Just keep talking.
Okay, you can go.
Well, I'm gonna need Sandy,
All right.
yeah. I don't know, I'm sure she got my email yesterday, I don't know if she had a chance to really do anything about it.
And you don't have anything capital or no numbers.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of, I don't have a capital, project really this year. A lot depends on if we get this new building,
Yeah.
then I would. Because what I'd like to do if we get the new building is be able to come in and remodel the current building. But I can't remodel the current building without the new building being done. And we don't have any firm ground on the new building yet. So
But I'm sure we want to put something in there.
We do.
I would hope so, just for,
Well, also, you know, we've had things come up, like we had to get the generator this
Right,
time,
right,
and we
right.
had, heating and air issues that we had to do.
yes.
And we had money in capital budget for that, but, so we don't wanna assume that there's not gonna be anything.
And same with like the vehicles. I've got one animal control truck that, you know, has been giving me more trouble lately, you know, and I don't know how much more money we wanna put into it, is to just, you know, maybe get a newer one. And same with, one of my vans, it's getting close to 300,000 miles. We just keep it locally, you know, I don't take it on long
That's the
trips.
Ford van.
They're both
Well,
Fords.
they're both Fords.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, the silver
earlier
one.
one.
Yes. So, I mean, it's holding up, you know, but like I said, we just use it for local vet runs, and then the nice blue wrapped van that's got less than 50,000 on it, that's what we use for
That's
our
your loan?
long trips,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So, oh, she left again. She's fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, all my friends that were so upset with me about the fence going up, because a lot of my friends are volunteers with you.
Yeah,
Now they're running into me at the grocery store and thanking me for the trail and how great it is and
Yeah.
all that, so they're
Yeah.
talking to me again.
yeah. And he, Brian, I don't know who dropped him off, but I know he mentioned in a meeting that he was going to, Gary over at the water treatment and see if he had any, unusable, out of service fire hydrants to place out. You know,
Oh, cute.
We're not done. We're not anywhere
Oh,
near
yeah. Oh, I
done.
think
You know, we've
you
got a
got a lot of
blank
creative
canvas
people
out
in there.
there, yeah.
Right.
So I did notice that he had dropped 3 of them off the
Oh,
other day,
cute.
so we have to get them painted and put them in a strategic spot, you know? Somebody, donated a outdoor couch, so we're gonna try to do like a little sitting area, a little patio type out there thing, use the couch and just get some things. I mean, we're just getting started, you know?
Can we backtrack just to say, what was
Yes.
your capital items possibly that you
We
wanted to
didn't- we didn't
add?
put it
We
in.
haven't gotten there yet? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just heard you talking about a truck or something, so I wanted to make sure I
Yeah,
was
we
getting my
didn't-
notes.
we were asking for numbers
Okay.
on,
Okay.
we know that something's going there.
Yeah. I had said one of my animal control trucks is, I've had to put some money into it lately, and it's a little older, mileage is starting to get, it's a little over 100,000, it's a 2019. I've had to put a little money into it lately, and I just don't know how much more we wanna continue to put into it if it continues to have problems, you know. And one of my vans is, approaching 300,000 miles. Well, it's still doing well, that's pretty high mileage, so if it starts nickel diming us on down the road, I don't know how much money we wanna put into something that's, you know, approaching 300,000 miles.
So we could be looking at a possible capital request of a truck.
Yeah,
Possibly,
and van, yeah, which they're each around 50,000 replacement cost.
I didn't have a capital budget yet
Yeah.
for you, so I wanted to make sure I didn't miss something.
Well, the big thing for me would be, depends on if we get the new building, you know, and if we get that, then there's things I wanna remodel in the old building, which would be capital budget, but I haven't even got quotes or anything on that, I've got lots of ideas, but I'm not even venturing, stepping into that until we know we're getting
For
this
sure,
new
what's
building,
gonna
or
happen.
otherwise it's just waste of time and energy at this point, you know, so. But then, I mentioned the clothing,
Yes.
the Centos,
Mhm.
if we could get that moved over to contract services,
Yeah,
either move
I
that
can do
over to
that.
contract services and give me a clothing budget, or just increase my clothing budget. Cause
Okay.
what we have, Centos takes up all that, and that's 2 guys.
What would your clothing budget need to be?
I would think 2,500,
Okay, we've got it at 38.
but Centos takes up all that. Centos is coming out of clothing.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
2,500
38 needs to move up to
Yeah.
contract service and
Yeah.
then, okay, well, I'm gonna.
Yeah, either move Centos to
Okay.
contract services, and give me 25 for clothing, or just increase my clothing to 25.
Okay, that's what I'm just gonna increase the clothing, because
Okay.
you do get some clothing from Centos, right?
I mean, I have 2 guys that, I have the Centos uniforms.
Okay. Okay.
I had questions on the increase of communications and telephone, and then the veterinary services,
So I've gotten, another cell phone for, the front desk, for people to be able to send pictures to, you know, and text and stuff that don't have Facebook or something like that, and sometimes they're just more comfortable, you know, if they're out using their phones, you know, if they see something, they send us incidents, you know, so that, has been, we added that, and I'm not sure what the rest, what the
so
other,
$3,000.
how high the
That's a
increase is.
$3,000 increase on a cell phone?
It may be landline related to, I mean, that's, you're talking about the telephone line?
Yeah.
That's ETC
Communication.
and cell phones, that's both,
That
that's
goes from
landline.
46 to 81.
Yeah, that's internet, that's, do y'all have cable? That's anything that would be on the ETC bill plus the, cell phones. So, and that would be based on the history for, you know, what we've paid out on
Okay.
that
So
expenditure
you're
for
not
the year.
shocked with that?
No, I actually
Fire.
plug that number in. Usually
Okay.
the utilities,
For one,
everybody
just adding
just
one cell
leaves for
phone.
me to kind of look at the last year or maybe the year before, just for some past history, and then I
Okay,
put those numbers in based on that.
okay.
So no, I would have plugged that one in myself.
And
And
then the
then-
vet,
The increase on the vet services, that's basically what we've spent the last 2 years.
Gee, there's a lot
Yeah,
that has to be spent on vet service.
yeah. It's just, we haven't gone over budget because there's been other line items that we've not used. So we didn't go over budget as a whole, but for the last 2 years, we've gone well over what we've been given for vet
actual for
services.
24 was 143, okay. Okay. Which is- Gotcha.
And that doesn't all go to one place either.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
they
that
use-
goes to like 5 or 6 different places
Several
at
different
least. I
ones.
mean, we're just like everybody else, we gotta call around and see who's got appointments available. You know, there's certain ones we like to use for certain things, you know, there's certain places we like to have our spays done, certain places we like to have our neuters done. Certain places we like to do for dentals, certain places we like to go for, amputations, you know, and orthopedic stuff, you know, and in addition to that, EPEN covers a lot of medical bills.
Mm.
So this is just normally basic giardia, coccidia, eye infections, spays, neuters, you know, sort of thing. A lot of the bigger surgeries, EPEN just takes care of that, and heartworm treatments.
How does that work when EPN does that? Do they just pay directly to the, they pay directly instead of? Okay.
I don't know if it's still good, but I bought one of their spay and neuter.
Oh, that was probably Homeward Bound, they don't do certificates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We had a cat that was hanging with us, and I was like, well, if you're gonna hang, you're gonna be fixed.
Or it was either Homeward Bound or Focus,
Okay.
they both do.
I have a spare, the cat went away, so if you know
Because
anybody
they
that
knew
needs
you
it.
got a certificate.
What you were gonna do to it?
Yeah, right. I'm fine with that. Before it comes around.
Yeah, right. I'm getting out of here, she's about to fix me.
It's right, it's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a spare certificate, if you
Okay,
think of, you
okay,
know, I'm happy to
okay,
transfer it, or,
alright, was it for, Kahata?
I believe so.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
probably Focus.
And it was a male.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told them that at that point when I bought it. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
alright.
I was ready, I was ready, I was like, if you're saying.
That's usually a good indication it's time to leave.
Huh?
That's usually a good indication that it's time to
And then
leave.
we all did what she was
Yeah.
trying to prevent.
Exactly.
Well, it's already made.
I appreciate that.
Hopefully we have news fairly soon about the.
Y'all let me have your sheets back and
I'm sorry.
we are on old times.
Maybe if you can state your claim.
All right. All right. That's a good way to put it. So what, these three budgets, when I say three, it's sheriff, detention, and what these three budgets, proposals, I understand there's some sticker shock, probably. What this represents essentially, if you can look down through the line items, there's very few of the line items that are much increased from this year in past years, except for salaries. This represents two things. In the sheriff's budget, the request for funding for 4 additional patrol deputies, a detective, and a full-time evidence custodian and evidence custodian / crime scene processor. Then on raises, salary on raises, based on Patrick's, informal, but it's pretty accurate, it's pretty, I'd say formal. Patrick's study, the need to increase our starting pay to be competitive by 3%, and then to keep from compression setting in, the existing employees, they get 5, but essentially they're getting 2. It'd be a 5% increase for existing employees, with a 3% increase on our starting pay. So you can look at that either way, but we gotta keep, anything we do to starting pay, we've gotta apply that plus any cost of living to the existing employees, or we get into a compression situation. And that's essentially what you see on all 3 budgets. The detention center is 2, 2 additional, employees to, when fully staffed, it would bring,
Those officers?
yes, and it would bring them in from 5 per shift, it would take it to 6 per shift. In that, we kinda have 5 per shift with the addition of, 2 extra now, so our goal is to have 6 per shift. Then in, 911, and I know it's last, but I mean, it's all kind of a one statement for all 3 budgets. It's the same scenario, with the pay increases, yeah. And then in, 911, one additional dispatchers. And all of the additions is not out of just wanting to, it's out of the need, based on call volume, and the call volume affects 911 and patrol, on the sheriff's side, and then the staffing at the jail needs to be at that 6 officers per shift, and that's all I can say to that. I can answer specific questions, but as far as my spiel, that's it.
And you said the same pay increases, we'll figure in the same pay increases for all 3 departments, basically.
Yeah. Now, having said all that, let me throw this out there. And I'm not wanting, before y'all even speak, I'm not wanting to fall on the sword and offer up cuts, but in being realistic, I'm just being realistic. If y'all approve, for hypothetically, you approve this budget as is, and it's approved November the 30th or whatever, December the 15th for 2026, I'm not gonna be able to hire these people by January 1st. In reality, it would probably be October or November of next year if we're lucky to be able to fill these positions. But I do have to be able, I do have to have a.
Why is that? Explain that to me.
Well, our applicants are coming in better than they were a few years ago. I said a couple of years ago. We are getting applicants, but we had folks going through the process. We had 2 going through the process recently. And you say, "What? This is an example. It's not the sole reason, but an example." We had 2 in the hiring process. They had been given conditional job offers, and all we were waiting on was scheduling, polygraph, psychological, just the stuff that we do. And one of them had actually he had requested to be held up because of he was Georgia certified, but he was also Florida certified, working in Florida. He was selling, his sale fell through, he was moving here. His sale fell through, but he felt like he could get the sale completed pretty quick and get on up here. During that time period, he was gonna move a little bit further north, Blue Ridge or Union, one of the others. I think he ended up going to work for Union County, cause they pay more for him now. Hence, the need for us to be competitive. We don't wanna lose people to surrounding counties. We wanna get the best that we can get.
When we raised our starting pay last year, I guess it was, we started getting more applicants. The tide kind of changed. This year, we didn't apply the COLA to starting pay. It was 3%, I believe, this year that you all gave across the board to the county. Well, we didn't apply that to starting pay because of compression issues. And so, our starting pay has remained the same since the 1st of 2024. And hence the reason that over that time, our applicants for all positions have dwindled. it kind of spiked when we got pay up. I mean, it's like everybody else deals with, you know. Public safety is probably the most notorious field, profession that chases nickels and dimes. Because, well, they don't make much to start with, so it affects them when it's 20 cents, 50 cents, $1 an hour, let alone dollars an hour more to travel another 30 minutes one way or the other. And so we're hiring from the same pool of people, just like fire and EMS. I'm sure they tell you the same thing. We're drawing from the same pool of people, honestly, that Metro does.
What we're trying to do, we can't do it because it's dang long now. I mean, it used to be when I went through the police academy, it's 6 weeks. And then it bumped up to 10, and it's been 11 weeks forever. I mean, it's been 11 weeks for a long time. Well, it's been increased now. It was 20, it's currently 20 weeks, but they've also backed off of that, so it's like 17 or 18 weeks now. So, in saying that, we are trying to cultivate our own employees for patrol from the jail, but we have to make sure the jail is staffed. So if we're gonna be pulling 1 to 2 people out twice a year.
The deputies that are at the jail.
Yes.
Gotcha.
To send them to the police academy, we
Yeah.
gotta be staffed there, so that's why we need the, yeah. If we have 6 per shift, any given day, we'll have 5 people there. If we're lucky. If we have, and there's a story there, but we'll just say if we're lucky. If we have 5, which is what we've got now, we've got 4 on any given day. So, because of vacations, sick, training, it just pulls people away, you know. It's not every day that we're down, but it's often. I mean, if you factor in all the time that people have to be or can be gone, it adds up, so.
And if someone comes from another state and moves here, because I know that is happening quite a bit, but do they have to get retrained or go through academy?
They have to have it's a bridge course. It's not the full amount.
Okay.
As long as they come from the state, and I think pretty much all of them now, most states, there's a bridge course in Georgia for them.
They still have to go through all of our training. The way our agency operates is even if they, 20-year veteran or wherever, they still go through our orientation training, which is 2-3 weeks at minimum, and then field training, which is 3 months. And so we get even, whether they have previous experience or not, you're looking at months before they actually have a individual impact on the road, let's say. Because, we want them trained and to be able to do the job the way we want them to do it, maybe not the same way they did it in Broward County, Florida, or wherever they may be.
But then we're paying them through that training.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do recognize the sticker price at the end of this, at each one of these budgets, and I understand it's a jump and it's not intentional. I think I gave y'all at least a couple of months warning that I was coming with something such as this, and we just gotta be able to do what we can do.
Did we increase men last year, or men, women? No? How long has it been since?
We've had the same amount of people. Now we've increased like a position or 2 at the schools, and we're currently short 1 SRO. All the schools are covered. They want double coverage at the high school, and they have double coverage at the high school. But our floating supervision is filling one of those positions. So, and we have a position in court services at the courthouse. And those are positions that not everybody wants. That's a great place, but it can be boring. you know, sitting in court all day, or going out and serving civil papers. It takes a special person. The school takes a special person. And not everyone that is cut out for the road is cut out for the school, and so we have to balance all that, but no, we've not increased on the road or the jail in quite some time.
Do you remember 2 or 3 years? I feel like we did in my first term, but I don't remember.
It's been at least 2 years.
Okay.
Look at their capital.
Yeah, sure.
Not especially.
Sometimes I wish that I was the commander-in-chief of something that didn't cost a lot.
We wish that for you too.
But even if I was, there'd still be somebody sitting here that was.
True enough.
The vehicles, does this figure include all the equipment, aftermarket that you put on?
It's everything, yes, sir, it's the vehicle itself, it's all the equipment, installation thereof, the striping,
Okay, good.
that's everything.
It takes as much to add the equipment, and get all the
More.
aftermarket stuff done to it than it does to buy the.
I was thinking about the other day, the first, and I think Adam has always been, even prior to me being sheriff, Adam has always, well, for a long time, prior to me being sheriff, Adam has been the one that has quoted out or got the quotes for the vehicles and the equipment and all of that. And the other day, the very first vehicles I bought as sheriff were the Crown Vics, and were $19,000 each. And we bought a whole fleet of detective vehicles, looks like, I think it was 6, and they were $17,000. They don't make them like that no more. We still get them cheaper than the public can buy them, but we don't get them for $19,000 and $17,000.
And that also includes one canine vehicle, replacement canine vehicle, which is several $1,000s more than an average patrol vehicle, because they have the temperature control stuff, the monitoring system, and the cage that's back there, the kennel, and so forth. So that's included in there also.
What is the K-9 equipment, that separate line?
That actually is for a dog. Of our 3 dogs that we have, 2 of them are on the verge of needing to be retired. We may be, even if we get this, we may be down to 2 dogs next year, even if we get a new one. There's one in particular that's very, very close, having to be retired.
What kind of dog do you
Pardon?
What kind of dog do you
Dotson, yeah.
Well, you know, I've had a few Dotson, and they probably would have been
We
pretty good
looked
at
at
that.
the chartreuse, we looked at several of them, but the Dotsons tend to be the most effective.
The most aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You don't wanna mess
sharpest
with a Dotson,
Mm-mm.
right?
No.
So, and I will tell you that price right there, is a good guy price. We have a very tight relationship and have for a long, long time with the vendor that we get our dogs through. And that's a cheap price for what we get.
But seriously, what breed are they?
Malinois
That's,
typically.
okay, I couldn't.
Sometimes
think
we
of that.
run
Get further
shepherds,
than
we have
right.
one, German shepherd, but typically they're Malinois.
Malinois.
I don't think there's anything meaner than a Chihuahua.
No, that's why we stay away from them. We couldn't even have them around the public. No, sir. And I will say to our K-9 program, I have to just say this, I'd like we'd like to recognize our deputy maybe in an upcoming meeting or something even, because you all are familiar with the officer that was shot at the McKaysville a few weeks ago. One of our dog teams was up there within an hour after that incident occurred, and actually tracked the guy to his house. He ended up not being there once they took the house down or wherever, but our dog was the dog that tracked to the house, which is pretty cool, from the scene. But even cooler than that, it was our dog that apprehended the guy 20 hours-ish later. And when he was non-compliant, and he became compliant.
I'd love for us to
Shortly after
recognize
that.
that dog, every dog.
I know, the
Yeah.
dog is, yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
dog-
Can you bring the dog in too?
Pardon?
Can you bring the dog
Sure.
in too? Yeah, let's do that in October.
Please.
At our October board meeting?
I got a real nice letter, Monday evening from, GBI, who's leading the investigation on that case. And everybody got the same letter, except for ours has one sentence at the very end that nobody else's has, that our dog was the one that apprehended the suspect, so, it'd be something that we can read.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
First they criticized me for being Georgia Tech, now they're gonna throw it off on my docs. I mean, yeah, I just can't get respect in the way.
You know,
It's meant as a compliment.
Georgia Tech's pretty bad, but you ain't Tennessee.
You need to wait and say that
Josh,
again at 1 o'clock, Charlie.
John, should I turn my little thing around?
Yeah, turn around.
There you go.
Charlie,
I'm sorry, Cindy, what
you
was-
need to wait and make that comment at 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
That's when Jim will be here.
Jim said something the other day about, yeah, he's heard all the Tennessee jokes. I told him, these aren't jokes. Well, y'all got any other questions?
I don't.
I don't either.
Okay, so that capital budget, I had everything, right? You just had the
Appears so.
one item for the security camera upgrade for detention and the radio and telephone recorder for 911.
Correct.
So just those.
And that radio, / telephone recorder records all radio traffic, the telephone traffic, and it is at end of life. Imagine that.
Yeah.
As far as being supported and whatnot.
And this new 911 system and all this new stuff that we keep hearing about, you guys are ready and we're up to date and we won't have to spend any money on that?
Yeah, you're talking about the rapid SOS where they can text and send pictures and all that.
Yes.
We actually were, and look, y'all, y'all know, and if you don't know, you've not talked to me for 5 minutes, I'm a low-tech individual. I am low-tech. However, Frank, who is the 911 director, he is not low-tech. And we got in on that, the new stuff that's being talked about early on. We got in on that, and yeah, we actually have utilized it at least once. Life-saving situation, a woman having a heart attack, and you utilize the text mechanism or whatever. But all what we're replacing is stuff that has been in place, but it's just dying. You know.
Well, I thought when we replaced that system recently, whoever came and spoke to us said that this is the new, what's coming in. But we're hearing about it, commissioners wise, of some counties are not ready and they're having to spend the money on replacing it. But I'm just making sure that's not us.
No, I know, I think we're good on that. What we most recently replaced was the uninterrupted power supply, which it was an ordeal, major
Right.
ordeal, and honestly, we had to take the 911 center down,
Right.
and we had to set up a temporary, and we did that at the airport, didn't we? It was a major ordeal to take the 911 center down for 2 Saturdays.
But it was a good idea in the sense that now, in the event that we have to move it to the airport, we won't be blazing new territory.
That's right, that's right, and we went into it with that mentality that this is gonna be a
Yeah,
good,
good point.
hopefully it's gonna be a good drill, and it went okay.
The theory was there, that was our contingency plan, but we were actually out of necessity, had to do it, and everything worked, very well.
Right.
Took a lot of coordination and it all. Is that $90,000? It's about $90,000 that we put in last year.
Yes.
Yeah. And we really needed to do it year before last, but we just couldn't get everything worked out. Funding aside, we couldn't get everything worked out for it.
Well, thank you both. Thank you so much for
Do
all
you
you
need
do.
to,
Yeah, before
That in this particular budget is our drone program. And that's another example of, officer and public safety resource right there. It was utilized extensively. We utilize it, seems like on a weekly basis, but for example, up in McCaysville, that was one of the ways that the suspect there was located initially. Was via drone team, and we along with the fire department had a couple drone teams up there assisting along with that. Also, they're not the team that spotted the
Found
guy,
him,
but they
yeah.
were up there, they were
Yeah,
handling
yeah.
business or whatnot. And so, a big portion of that is that. A smaller portion of it is for our special weapons and tactics, team equipment. That makes up the lion's share of that line.
that would also be search and rescue, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that we're doing is we're coordinating our efforts with the fire department in regards to several endeavors, the drone program being one of them, where we work together. You know, we've got something going on, we've got pilots and platforms that can assist them, and vice versa. So, we're pretty excited about that relationship, and especially in our neck of the woods with the search and rescue aspects, and even like our SWAT guys and their equipment that they use, they're able to be brought to bear to help in search and rescue. You know, it's cross-pollinating those efforts so we don't have to, you know, it's a team effort, so we don't have to individually buy as much stuff and have as many people spend the money on training, and so we can bring those people together.
So you're not doubling up
You
or
know,
anything. And then, your priorities for that, for your capital projects? I mean, your list of the K-9 computers, 10 vehicles. If we can't do anything, can we go to 1, 2, 3, or you need all of them?
well, we have to take a look at that, and as in the past, we always have to prioritize and do that. It's like, for example, we put in for 10 cars last year, and we ended up getting 6, for example. And so, you know, once we know what the bottom line is, and we reevaluate, and
Right.
vehicles, of course, is, you know, we have a big fleet, and, you know, when we get to the point of having to keep cars too long, they end up being black holes for money on the maintenance side,
Yeah, we get that.
and so we try to,
But then with the new officers also,
sure.
I would assume they need.
Yeah, and that is figured in, you know, with additional vehicles, but honestly, even if we didn't have the additional officers requested, we would still be putting in for 10 cars, just in a schedule to try to rotate. I mean, ideally, we're rotating cars out of the fleet about every 7 years, and they're still getting up there where you have 200,000 miles-ish on a car, even doing it, you know, at that schedule, so.
So now that I finally found my pen and can write, What was the priority again?
All.
Oh,
Well, again, just to be honest,
If you don't have
if we
10
were
cars,
cut
it's
X
six.
amount of money, we'd have to sit down and say, okay,
Yeah.
how
We've gotta have some cars.
Yeah.
We've gotta have some cars. We need 10. But we always need, and then we get,
Yeah.
you know,
right, right.
so
Yeah,
we're
I agree with that.
we're used to that, but we need 10 cars. And we need that other stuff, even though they're a little smaller ticket. And if y'all say, well, we're not gonna tell you what you can buy, but you got $500,000. Hopefully it'll be more than that. But you got $500,000, that's just for easy math. Then we gotta figure out what we're doing.
Now, the computers that y'all got, are those for the cars, or are those just like laptops,
That's gonna be-
desktops? Are those for the vehicles?
those are vehicles.
Okay. I'm just making notes.
Okay, that's it.
I'm gonna say once again, there's lots of counties would like to have these kind of conversations with the sheriff, but they don't get to. And we're different.
Well, I'm grateful too, and, but y'all should be grateful that you don't have somebody like, who's in about 40 minutes driving distance that you're arresting a police officer. I don't know if you've heard or seen that or not.
Arresting police officers?
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. One of my cohorts up in another county north.
North of it.
It's bad. Lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I appreciate the
Thank y'all.
relationship.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
thank you.
On the
She's doing it right, Jim.
classification, the total
experience.
payroll and the
The experience.
classification.
Well, we're not, it doesn't get that fine. Everybody's got one, we live together as a family, so just.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the same
Yeah,
family.
when it comes to that, yeah, we're a family.
Know why we treat
What
you
is
so
Sandy saying? No
There's no
I
I
in
in
team.
team, and there's not. That applies to finance, that applies to planning and zoning, that applies to everything.
Yeah, the DOC workers' comp is based on the same number yours is, so.
Well, I understand that. I'm saying that where the experience lies, because that's what shows.
Well, see, I don't get that kind of information. When I get the workers' comp renewals,
Okay, Commissioner,
But
you're doc.
here's the thing though, Jim. If we were to take out all the workers' comp from your budget, we just reduce the bottom line by that amount, so it makes no difference.
No, that's not the way you do it.
oh, now he's talking, I'm gonna tell him like Mark Holden tells me, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
No.
This is workers' comp.
His face got red on that one.
Oh, yeah, talking out of both sides of your mouth, and I'm telling you that all the time.
Jimbo, based on the total premium, I justified you. Based on the
Oh, I know.
what the total is, I just be quiet. Oh, yeah, I do report.
Carleen, you have new pages there because Jim's numbers changed. So you've got new budgets for planning and zoning, the airport, and you've got a new summary sheet as well.
Gotcha, thank you.
Jim, how are we going down in salary and wages?
Based on what, the Forked Pencil just gave me,
Which is based on what you and Patrick Ho discussed.
we went up.
Well,
The original request was 275.
No, you've got your original budget for 25. Original
Oh.
budget for 25 is 320.
Yeah.
Your requested budget for 26 is 316
Right.
and some change.
Yeah.
How are we going down?
Well, one of the things, Charlie, if you'll remember, we went with Bureau Veritas. We only have one full-time inspector now and a part-time inspector. And we have Lloyd Jarrett, who is on leave of absence.
Yeah.
So that Bureau Veritas contract, which is under contract services, caused a reduction in the overall budget. Plus, I also had built in for short-term rental as well. So,
But contract
But-
services is going down too. Not that I'm complaining, but I'm just trying to figure out.
contract services is going down, sir, because I had GovOS second-year contract
Gotcha,
in there.
okay.
Correct. I agree with you, Jim.
God.
We are in agreement. We are
But
in agreement.
one, for the record, for you commissioners, Planning and Zoning Department is one of only 2 departments that you have that is totally self-sufficient. We live on the revenue that we receive, totally. There is, Kimberly, there is no tax money in planning and zoning.
All right, there's a lot of my money in planning and zoning when I have to
Well,
pay
yeah,
for all
well,
those documents
your open
now.
records request, yeah. But, and that's the way it's supposed to be. 3 years ago, when I came back to planning and zoning, the general fund was subsidizing planning and zoning by about 40%. What I saw at that time is that we were still functioning on permit fees that were adopted in 2008. And so I made you all aware of that, and it took 2 years, but we did it, and we did it incrementally to get the permit fees up to where they should be. And that's where we are today. I am not proposing any increases in any fees. The short-term rental license, host license fee is taken out. And that's it as far as revenues are concerned. Now, the total budget that I am requesting is in revenue, $954,000. Now, I have an expense item that I don't want to call it a slush fund, but it is a fund that we have flexibility on, and that is ordinance enforcement and administration. We have I have 155,000 budgeted there. And folks, I put this in the budget last year, and I say to you that we have got to get, I don't want to say aggressive, but we have got to start some of our ordinance enforcement and abatement, and that is primarily for properties that are run down, that are, people are living, I don't want to say in tents or whatever. We've got to do some of that. I've discussed it with the county attorney. I've discussed it with Art Wachowski, who is our code enforcement officer, separate department, but he didn't have the means to put a budget line item in. So that's the reason that budget line item is there. It can be adjusted, but what I'm proposing is that we start. You gotta start somewhere, and we've got some properties that are gonna require some legal action. And discussed it with the county attorney. I think he is going to discuss it with you all. But some of these properties, and you're doing some ordinance amendments or addition that will help in some cases. But with the adjustment, Sandy, in the $155,000, my budget will balance again.
And if y'all want those adjusted numbers,
Now,
the
the
want
one
me to-
thing,
Jim,
huh?
let me start, you want me to give you those numbers, that number as adjusted, you wanna write it down, or do you want me just?
No, I want you to give it to me.
I'll send you an update.
Yeah, I can't read my own writing. Now, one of the things I want to discuss with you too is I met with Patrick Ho, our HR director, and I've done some of it, but I haven't done enough of it. What I am proposing as far as staffing is concerned, the 3 permit techs that we have, based on the research that Patrick has done, they are actually under surrounding counties. And so we're making some salary adjustments there for the 3 permit techs. The 1 inspector that we have is paid right on what the surrounding counties, and also the assistant director is. So those are the highlights of my budget. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have concerning them, but I just want you to remember that we are self-sufficient. We rely on the revenue that we receive. And that's the way I've been trained, and
Well, that's a good segue into the airport.
I wish I could say that. That's why I did planning and zoning first. Any questions that you all might have?
No, you've explained them.
On the 2 that are where they need to be, according to Patrick, comparable with the other counties.
3, there's actually 3, the permit techs. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm thinking, no, I thought the permit too.
It's the 2 that you said were within their
The-
range, the assistant director and the inspector.
Joe and Karen, I think is who you were talking about.
Karen, there's 4 people that I'm proposing raises for.
Okay.
3 permit techs. That's Vicky Chadwick, Becky Whitworth, and Whitney Hunter, and Karen Henson. Those are the only 4.
What about Joe?
Huh?
What about Joe?
Joe, his salary, his compensation, Charlie, is right on point, because what we did with the inspectors is every time they gained a certification, they automatically got $1 on the hour raise. So he's right where he should be. And, you know, if there is a cost of living,
Yeah.
then of course he will get that.
That's more what I was thinking of, is he may be right where he should be, but. if
Oh,
there's a
no,
cost of
no.
living-
You all decide on the cost of living. Now, we built in 5% cost of living.
But not for everybody, not for.
That's for everybody.
Okay, so Joe is getting the 5%.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was only gonna be the four you mentioned.
No. Those are, for lack of a better term, those are merit raises, you know.
Okay.
Are those four, the other four being brought up to market and then getting the 5%?
No.
So they're just being brought up to
They're
market?
they're just being brought up to market.
Okay.
But that's all in this figure here.
That's in the number.
Okay.
Clear as mud.
Yeah.
Unless Sandy gets a fork and pencil again.
Oh, I wish somebody could find that fork and pencil that he said about that.
All right,
the time.
listen, you gotta have a little fun. Yeah. Okay, any more questions on planning and zoning now? Now, one of the things that I want to remind you commissioners of, every year, I have to present by ordinance, I have to present you my schedule of fees, and you have to adopt them. Now, my schedule of fees will stand pat based on these numbers. Now, Charlie, you had indicated at one time that you wanted to reduce the fees for agricultural buildings. Now, so whatever that reduction is, I've got to make it up somewhere.
I don't know how much that reduction is gonna be.
Well, you
I
had
can tell
mentioned-
I can tell you how much I'm thinking of in each, but I don't know how many agriculture permits you get every year.
Well, I just happen to know.
Okay.
Let's see, I've got it somewhere.
What did we put it at? And I know we were dropping it, something, what we,
Well, normally what I do with the fee schedule, Carlene, is I present that to you later in the year. You know, for it to become effective January 1. Charlie, as, through September, and I'm assuming we're only talking about barns.
Well, that would be the main thing, but I'm not sure what other agriculture buildings we'd be looking at.
Through September, we've issued 12. Now, a barn permit is $200 each.
Okay.
Depending at a poultry house, that's $2,000. But we haven't issued, any new, this year, we've issued 2 poultry houses. One, you recall that, was the insurance problem?
Yeah.
Okay, and then one other. Now, this is through September. Those are the 2 that I would consider agriculture.
Based on that, it would cost you $3,200.
so were you thinking in half for private barns, personal, are
Well,
those the,
No, I'm talking about working farms here.
okay.
So the property would have to be zoned agriculture, right?
Yeah, I mean, a personal barn is,
Yeah, that's a garage.
well,
It
basically,
could be.
but,
Or a
tools.
shed.
Yeah,
no, I'm talking about working farms.
Last year, Charlie, we did, in 24, we did 34 barns.
Well, it's,
So Jim, when you guys charge for those, are they personal, any personal barn? I'm on a property, on a 5-acre ag, and I have a small hobby farm. Do we get charged for that barn?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that,
We have to do an inspection. We have to do inspections on that barn. We have to do power inspection. We have to do framing inspection. We do, irrespective of what the charge is. We have a schedule of inspections that we have to do. We do a temporary power, we do framing, and then we do a permanent power. So minimum, we would do 3 inspections on a barn.
so based on 34 barns, Jim, and no chicken houses, since we haven't had those other than the insurance
Let's
ones.
see, last year we issued no chicken houses.
That will cost you $3,400
Correct.
less, so.
but I wanna clarify that some of those are they working farms, or are some of them hobby?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, barn is a barn colony.
So I'm
well,
just
are all
trying
of them in ag? Zone ag?
Yeah, if it's in a residential, zone, we don't call it a barn, we call it a shed, or a roof, whatever.
Yeah,
But barns are where you store hay, you store corn, you have livestock, you store farming equipment.
Well, let's put it this way. Worst case would be it would cost you $3,400.
Well, yeah.
and I'm just trying to clarify for when we reduce, you're saying working farm, but even a
Yeah.
small hobby farm would be
Yeah.
it would be a farm.
Um,
So I don't know how you differentiate.
I don't know that I would consider a hobby farm to be a working farm.
Why not?
It's not their livelihood. It's a hobby.
But
If
that's
somebody
probably one of
comes
the 34
in
barns.
and makes an application for a barn, the first thing that we do is we check to be sure what the property is zoned. All right? And then we go through the process, but absolutely, you can have a barn on, a hobby farm. 5 acres is your minimum, you know.
Can I ask you a question? And I have a personal reason for asking this. Not that I'm planning on building anything else.
Well, it might cost you more.
Probably would. Like, what, does a pole barn, like a pole shed?
That's a barn.
Does that qualify as a barn?
That's a barn.
It doesn't have to be completely enclosed.
No, a pole barn, if it is a pole barn, Sandy, you have basically a roof and pole support. That's a pole
But
barn.
that's still, is that still considered a?
That's still a barn.
That you come out and inspect. I mean, for coming out and inspecting 3 times,
Yeah.
that's like $200 is not
No.
anything. But
Yeah.
I just want you to realize,
But now, the people that I've been talking to have been talking in terms of $500 and $600 that they were paying.
Well, I could be off on that, but, and I'm not looking at my schedule. But most of the barns, unless it's a huge thing, most of them are $200.
so maybe it's one that, is it our farmers that were struggling with the payment?
Yeah.
So does like Reeds, if they wanna put a new barn, are those bigger based on the size?
Mhm.
I mean, more money,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
expensive? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the farmers that are basically saying, you know, we're struggling, we're just getting by and we can't pay this kind of fee.
We can, you know, we can make that, or you all can make that adjustment in the, when I submit the fees to you, and then I'll make the adjustment in the revenue side, for that. But I hope you're not thinking about any others.
No, just the farmers.
He was the one concerned
We
with that.
do, the typical, and you know, you and I know who we're talking about. Okay, first of all, we do what's called a site location inspection. That's where we go out, we inspect the site, we check the setbacks, you know. We're required by law to do a site location inspection first. And then during the construction of that barn, we would do a minimum of 3 inspections. So a total of 4 inspections. My inspector will make 4 trips to wherever that barn is.
I just don't wanna see the agricultural portion of Gilmer County
I
start
understand.
decreasing, and feel like, you know, we need to do whatever we can to help these folks.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason when it came up before, the reason that I don't wanna say I objected, but I wanted to remind you all that I think at the time, already had 12 or 14 that had paid the fee, and we were talking about reducing it. And I suggested to you to wait until the end of the year, put it in next year's fee schedule.
Right, we did that, right?
That's what you did,
That's all.
yeah. But,
I just
So
wanna
now
get
it's-
it, be sure we get it into next year's fee schedule.
oh, I haven't forgotten it.
But then, so maybe you can let us know what the sliding scale is for barn size or whatever.
I
There's-
can, Carlene and Sandy or some, I give you a schedule of all of the permits and all of the charges, and we will have a minimum fee, then we will have a fee per square foot, you know.
Mm.
So, and that's how we calculate the permits.
That's where it's hitting,
So,
that square footage is probably
Yeah.
what's not hitting.
I will give you that schedule. You'll see it in detail. So,
I don't think that we're going to be able to know exactly what this is gonna cost us in year 1. We're just gonna have to make a guesstimate. So what I would say is, worst case would be, what did I say, $3,400? I would say, I would encourage you to go ahead and lower your revenue by $3,400 for the budgeting purposes.
I may lower it more than that.
But that was
Whatever you
his,
think.
but that was his $200 per barn, not his
Yeah.
higher cost.
That's the reason I say I
I
may
think
lower
But
it.
we're still guessing either way though.
Yeah, right.
It's, a
Until we
budget
get a
is a
year's worth
guesstimate
of
anyway.
history.
I don't have a problem with $200 on a 3 inspections on a, even a hobby farm,
For inspection.
4 inspections on a hobby farm. I think that's reasonable.
But I don't
But-
think, I'm not suggesting the hobby farm get the discount.
Yeah,
Well, they can build barns too.
I understand, but it's not their livelihood.
yeah.
I know, but we can't make that distinction. We, either it's a barn or it's not.
Okay, but is it, now, this may have changed, but I don't think so. I know we've made some changes to the hobby farm kind of thing, but used to it didn't have to be ag, did it?
You mean it didn't have to be a minimum of 5 acres?
Well, I mean, it didn't have to be zoned agricultural.
That is correct, Charlie, but you've got a limit there of the livestock,
Right.
you got, I think you can have 6 hens and.
That's why it's hobby.
Yeah,
No, you
yeah.
can have more than 6, because I think anybody can have 6. But if you want more than that, then then you're a hobby farm. But
There's a breaking point,
Yeah.
in hobby farms and agricultural farms.
there are limitations in a hobby farm as to how many of what
Right.
thing you can have. But
On
because it's a
residential,
hobby farm.
on a residential piece of property, not ag.
Can I add
You
from the
can
peanut
have-
gallery over
you
here?
can have.
The Georgia Department of Agriculture issues business licenses for commercial farming. Can we not tie the discounts to something that would be a commercial industry
No, we don't issue
recognized by?
license.
No, we, but I don't say we do, the state of Georgia does.
No.
So we couldn't They do. The Georgia, I'm looking at it now, on Georgia Department of Agriculture.
No, a business license for a
Yeah.
farm?
Yeah, it's a state level business license. I just was
That's
So,
news
putting out
to
that
me.
possibility
Yeah,
that a
I
business
guarantee
license requirement might be a good,
Works for me.
Way to do it.
Anything that can distinguish a working farm, and when I say working farm, I mean, this is somebody's livelihood.
Sandy, you
As opposed to a
have,
hobby
you,
farm.
you have
Might be
poultry
opening a can of
business.
worms, cause there are a
Do
lot of
you have
small
a
hobby
state
farms that
license
just
for-
have a little market on the
No.
corner.
it's not
It's not
required,
their livelihood.
Jim. I was just saying that there is a state license available. Can we not issue a local license
Then we
for
have
it?
to decide
Of course,
We
then,
would have-
then you could waive the fee or whatever
We
for
would-
commercial.
Our
I like.
Our
I like your
business
idea, but
license,
I don't
we
know
call
how
it a
to get
business
there.
license, but it's actually if you look at the ordinance, it's an occupational tax. And that license is based on a flat fee up to a certain number of employees. We call it a business license, but it's an occupational, and that's the way it is in our code of ordinances. It's an occupational tax.
Let me ask you this. I don't remember what they call it, but farmers, if I recall, get some sort of a break on taxes.
Sales tax.
Yeah.
We have to get our
But
gate
what's-
card
but
every year.
What do you call it?
It's a gate card. Oh, farm gate.
Farm gate.
It's a farm gate card.
Farm gate. Now, would I be correct that you'd have to be a working farm to get that? And
You
not a
have to have-
hobby farm?
You have to have $5,000 in revenue to qualify for a gate card.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good.
Why don't we say if you have a gate card?
Well, you guys are gonna have to do some ordinance changing before I can do that,
Why?
because our ordinance is not worded that way.
But our ordinance lets us set fees by resolution.
Well,
Hmm.
I would yield to the county attorney on whether or not we could do that. The way our ordinance is formulated right
Well,
now.
we're at a point where we've got time to ask him, so
Yeah.
I like the
yeah,
idea of that.
We can do
Sure.
that.
Yeah, the farm
Alright.
gate card might
that
differentiate.
would be.
Any other questions on planning and zoning?
Nope,
All right, are we ready for airport?
No.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I didn't think we would do it. For the benefit of you two commissioners, the airport right now is me. As of Friday, the two staff people that I have resigned. The full-time person accepted a position where he says with Lockheed Martin. And the other one just, I guess, decided to quit. He was part-time, 20 hours. Now, the revenue, as far as the airport is concerned, you will see that our revenue sources are basically two. We have hangar and tie-down fees, and we have avgas. And those numbers are there. Unfortunately, I have to say the general fund still has to subsidize the airport. And that's true in every general aviation airport. Now, in the administration salary, that is for the airport manager. The salaries and wages, that is for, actually, Justin had a full-time person, and a part-time person working less than, what the actual part-time hours are. And then there was another part-time position in there. What I am proposing is and I can do it within the budget, is 2 full-time people. Because what happened when Heitman left, somehow our airport hours got changed to 5 days a week, 8 to 5 or 8:30 to 5, and that airport does not, no general aviation airport operates on a 5-day schedule. What I have been doing is working on Saturday. Saturday is our busiest day, and so I propose with those 2 people, their responsibilities would be the maintenance of the grounds and the buildings, 6 days a week. And what I would be able to do is to take their 40 hours, and there would be 1 or 2 days that that we would only be manned with 1 person, but the rest of the time we would have 2 people there.
So that's what the 106 is?
That is.
So we're not open on Sunday?
Not open on Sunday, Carlene. Somehow between, when I was the airport manager before, now remember, there was 2 airport managers between my leaving the first time and my going back.
Right.
We were open 6.5 days a week. We were open 6 full days, Saturday, Monday through Saturday, and a half a day on Sunday, beginning at 1 p.m., ending at 5 p.m.
Did you have a lot of flights on Sunday?
Sunday is, no,
No?
Sunday
Okay.
is not that busy. Now, during Apple Festival, it is kind of busy. Sunday was more of a day for an individual to do housekeeping, you know, cleaning bathrooms, cleaning floors, things like that, answering the phone and things like that. There wasn't a whole lot of physical work. So, but what I am proposing to you is that those 2 positions become full-time positions. One of them becomes full-time,
Certainly
but
see
the
how
other
I
one
think
is
Saturday
already.
is important to be open. I said I can certainly see how we think Saturday is important to be open.
Absolutely.
And I don't want you to have to be working Saturdays,
No.
so.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you to have to be working it on Saturdays.
Well, I appreciate that.
That's Jim.
Yeah. But Saturday is a busy day. But I think it was, I think it was the transition when Heitman left. You know, Charlie was left hanging, and I don't know if Charlie authorized it or if those 2 employees just decided that they would change the hours.
Actually, I think that Sharon approved it.
Who?
Sharon?
Oh,
You know,
Sharon.
for a while, the airport was under.
Yeah, she was, for 6 months,
Yeah.
she was actually, so part of Heitman's, I guess Sharon was still there
She was.
after Heitman left, so, yeah. But I wanted to go back to a minimum of 6 days a week. And if I can figure out how to get that other half a day in there, I will too.
They can do maintenance on another day, I just don't wanna lose business on
Yeah,
Saturday.
well, yes, but a minimum of 6 days a week.
I agree.
Airports have got to be open,
Mhm.
you know.
So people fly in for the Apple Festival?
Yeah. Last Saturday, we sold right at 1,000, almost 1,000 gallon of fuel.
Yes, if you're gonna lose that.
you know. So, yeah, but now, the other thing that I want to point out to you all, Justin had a bunch of line items here that I don't know. I guess they were there in anticipation of receiving grant money. Once we get an engineer selected, one of the things that I have discovered is that in the past 5 years, and I've already told Croy this, and it was pointed out to by GDOT aviation folks, we have not taken advantage of the grants that have been available to us. There's two. It's called an AIG, Airport Improvement Grant, and the other one is Operations Grant. We've got, if you remember in looking at the capital improvement plan that you all adopted, there's been a lot of things that have been neglected as far as maintenance and upkeep. Our runway, the last time that thing was, we did anything there, was during my first tenure as airport manager. Our striping right now is all faded out, needs to be done, but there are things on the airfield, on the apron, and in the two buildings that have got to have attention. I don't propose that we do it all in 1 year, but you gotta start. You gotta keep at it. And so, if you look at the airport improvement grant, if we go after the grant, most of the grants, our portion is only 5%. And some of the grants are 2.5%. So it's FAA, Georgia DOT, and local funds. Some of the local matches you can actually do in what's called force account work. I did a lot of work out there, force account, which was the local match. So those.
That's in kind.
Yeah, it's in kind, John. Yeah. But.
Are you working with Jennifer on that, or some of that?
Well, I haven't,
Yeah.
until, see, we've got to get an engineer selected right now, Carleen, before we can do anything as far as grant applications or whatever. I mean, this is something that you have to do every 5 years. Now, this year, there's been a change in the engineering selection process in that you have to do 2 advertisements. You have to, and you can actually select more than 1 engineer. You have to do 1 for planning, and then you do 1 for engineering. There's actually 3 categories that your engineering, your civil engineer can do. But the planning has to be separate. So we're gonna, Edwin and I, right now, you're gonna see the advertisement come out next week. And it's gonna cover, I think it will be 3 pages of qualifications for each one of them, yeah.
3 pages?
3 pages in the paper?
3 pages, yeah. 3, 8.5 by 11 now,
Oh.
depending on how they can
I was like,
reduce the
cha-ching.
Oh,
font.
3 ads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not 3 pages, Vance.
3, 8.5 by 11 pages
For 1 ad.
Oh,
for one ad.
wow.
So
And
Tim,
we have two of them that we have to do.
am I understanding correctly that we don't have any numbers or anything that we can plug into this airport improvement budget yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I haven't done anything with that one, that was one of the questions I was gonna ask you.
That's the reason I left those numbers blank.
Okay.
So we're in that process, when will we be through that process?
We will be through that process December the 20th.
Oh,
Our contract with Crow Engineer, Carlene, expires December the 20th. So, then, when that contract expires, then we are required then to enter into another 5-year contract with whomever we select for 5 years.
So we can't do any planning until after that date?
Right.
Well, we're gonna have to at least make a guess.
Right.
Put some money in there.
Right.
I would rather make a guess and guess wrong than to just leave it out and know we're gonna have to come back for a budget.
I totally agree.
Well, one of the things that you all do is, you all always set funds aside. You know, I don't know what you call it, fund balance or whatever. You set funds aside, and once, if we get assurance of a grant, then I would be coming back to you and saying, folks, we've got a grant for this project, and our match is this.
And we'll do the dance of joy that we won't need to spend all that money.
Now, what I do have in the airport budget is the,
Right, I'd rather put it in there and know, and then get the grant straight.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to spend, just because it's in the budget doesn't mean it has to be spent.
right, I have, $37,800 in contract service. Now, that would be, you know, for whomever that engineer, is, if we give them a task to design, a certain project and write plans and specifications, then that's where that money would come from. And that money is eligible for reimbursement as well.
Through the grants? That's good.
Yeah.
So we should get some kind of a dollar value on these things
Mhm.
for planning purposes, even though we can't officially.
Yeah, we can't, and what my suggestion would be, and remember, our fiscal year runs differently than the feds and the state. But the CIP that you all adopted at the last meeting, and this is the state's fiscal year, which will begin next July, 2027. You know, those items that we have listed there in 2027, the local cost is estimated at $8,350. You follow me? Then, you know, at a minimum, I would put that as a match.
Now, that is on an airport improvement grant.
That is
Not-
correct.
We're not talking about capital budget, we're talking about the
No,
separate airport.
an airport,
improvement.
well, see, your terminology, that is a capital budget. That
Yes.
is,
But
you know,
for purposes of me being sure that I get it in the right
I don't know
category,
how
I
you would
I
charge.
have airport improvement grant separate because it's handled out of a separate fund,
Okay.
out of a different fund.
All right.
So,
But that's the way we used to do it.
Or we can still do capital expenditure from the general fund, just not the other way around.
What was that number you said, 80-something?
835.
Right here. this is the CIP that they adopted. Okay, this is 2027 now. Now remember, that's our 2026, or half of the year. Right there is your total number, right there.
We're gonna have to get that a little closer. Okay, thank you.
Any questions about the airport now? And I don't know what, John and I are still working on, trying to come up with, the actual value that we have, out there that should be insured. And this is in the way of buildings and contents and improvements of the runway and things like that. He and I both are I'm of the opinion that we are undervalued, underinsured. But we don't know that for sure until we go through that process. And I don't know where that comes, with your forked pencil, Sandy, in the expenses.
How about the insurance cost?
Right.
That'll be minimal. The difference in,
Okay.
because the things that are on there 3 times, like, little take.
We've got the AWAS, the benefit of you all. AWAS is an acronym for Automated Weather Observation System. You can call, if you wanted to get an accurate report on weather, you can call a phone number and listen to that AWAS play, and it will give you temperature, barometric, all of that. And that unit was installed years ago, but it has been updated. But we've got it listed on our 3 times, which I haven't figured that out yet. I think it's a mistake. Same value 3 times, but anyhow. Any other questions on airport?
We
We're good?
good.
Arlene?
Nope, good,
John?
thank you. Do you have, employees?
Patrick and I have 3 interviews,
Okay, great.
this afternoon, and, I'm hoping that we can come up with something. We've interviewed 2, and one of them that was our most qualified declined. He, accepted another position, but, we, keep on trying, so.
I'm guessing the salary is in range of what is. I mean,
Listen,
always so lowball
you
that-
know, I don't, Charlie can better, the administration salary for an airport manager, and I hope we get it, airport manager. You know, I don't know, that was what, the previous manager, I guess, was paid.
I think Patrick has looked at it, so
Okay.
he does his comparisons.
Okay, yeah, I feel good about that.
Surrounding counties.
Just making sure that I didn't know where the number came from.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Has Patrick looked at almost all these?
He looked, well, he did mine.
Yeah, I've
He
heard several
looked,
say that, so.
He
Looked at
looks
planning and
at all the
zoning
counties.
and airport, and then gave her a recommendation for the, changes, so.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you all.
Hey, go that way, I don't want you to trip over the cord. I'm plugged in over here.
Can't get his leg like that.
Yeah, don't you trip either.
No, I'm good.
All right. Oh, go Vols.
And you were doing so good. Up until that.
We don't play this week. Pulling for Kentucky.
Go on.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, everybody.
you got a notebook full of,
Oh, I keep all,
Thanks.
these are past years and this is just a copy of stuff from our receipts for Rhonda. I like my notes.
I hear ya, I'm a note taker myself.
Did you get my email?
Yeah.
Question, okay.
Yeah.
Did that explain it for now? Okay.
Mhm.
The reason that, Eric's worksheet, the reason that one line is in yellow, the, repairs and maintenance industrial boulevard building, you know, we've got money set aside that we've been working from this year, so that number, I'll plug into that box, whatever we have left at the end of the year, to carry forward to next year, because I'm sure there's still gonna be things going on around here that'll need to be paid for and that kind of thing.
Okay, and there's still money from that, still
Yes.
money in that.
I kept
Yeah.
track of what I've spent. but I-
Y'all carry on and I will be back
Okay.
shortly.
We right here.
But there's still a significant amount of.
There's still, yeah.
I think I'm at 308 that I've spent for whatever I've done.
Yeah, there's probably, so that'd be about 400. Less. That's a round number. Cause we had 750.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so
mine, when I looked
it's
this morning, it was
about
like 308, 309,
So
something
there's
like that.
400 to 440, I guess, ish.
Okay, that's good.
It's, come in handy, hasn't it?
There's been a lot of stuff going on here.
So we can really stick something up there, revenue flat.
Well, it would be just,
Yeah, but
it'd be called allocated fund balance, which we'll just carry forward. Yeah, I would add that line, I was just gonna wait until we're a little farther through the year, so it'll be, the revenue line and the expenditure line will be the same, so it'll just be a wash.
Well, how are things?
Busy?
Give us the update of, what are you working on now?
I just got back from bereavement leave, so I'm trying to,
Yeah,
I've been in the
sorry.
office all morning long, catching up with POs and bills and invoices and orders and stuff like
You
that.
mean nobody
so-
did it for you while you were gone?
Huh?
You mean nobody did it for you?
Nobody gets on the computer at all. They'll check work orders and that's the extent of it. Everything else is up to me.
Did you get your employees hired too? You were looking to hire more.
We got a housekeeper that just came in, but on this, we're trying to get another maintenance worker.
Okay.
And I had talked to Patrick about that. Patrick, and I don't know, I don't think you were around when I hired. How long? Been here, what, next year will be 7 years? So when I started, there was 5 employees just in maintenance. And we went down to 3, then we went to 2 for almost 2 years, and now we're at 3. But I'd like to at least get one more. And last year, we kind of passed it by, so that's why,
To go from 3 to 4 in maintenance?
to go from 3 to 4,
Mhm.
just because of the buildings and then the
Yeah.
stuff that's been added on, like, all the fire inspections, there's 18 more inspections that we're gonna have to do, that were taken from fire department, just 'cause, and put with us, so there's more contracts and stuff like that, but just with the more buildings and things that are going on, it's,
Yeah.
so that's the 314 includes all that.
it is, plus, there's stuff in there that I've talked to Charlie and Patrick about. We did comparisons throughout the county, that there's some pretty big differences in the maintenance department compared to a lot of other departments. So we sat down and talked to them about that, and with workers and stuff, and in that line, that would bring people to where they think it's more equal throughout the community, or the county we sat down, and I told them, I said, we just discussed responsibilities from like workers that are at the landfill, what they do compared to what we do and all that, and Charlie said, you're absolutely right, it needs to be closer pay, so, responsibility wise. Patrick said the same thing, so that would include getting people up to where it's more even, if that makes sense. And everything else, I think, is the contracts. Even with the contracts, we just added those 6 contracts for Johnson Control, and the contract services is still, I mean, not a lot, but it's almost 4,000 less than what we asked for last year with more contracts. And I've tried, when I've redone them, a lot of them I've got caps on, so they can only go up 3% a year instead of whatever they wanna throw at us. So I try to work that into any contracts we have that, I know Johnson Control and Otis has done that, they cap. they
And
put in
that,
there.
it looks like though, to date, their actual is more like in the 50 to 60, or right at 60 rather than.
Yeah, and I know, I'm trying to think, I think most of the big ones have been paid. I know there was some that we had added in there that we changed our minds and didn't go with, from what I put in last year, so that would take it down some too, so.
Okay, gotcha. But then take it down, but then you think you'll need still.
Yeah, that's,
Going forward.
from what I've got figured, like I did, again, not that you care about it, but I did, like, Milner, I don't know what Milner is, it's just put into mine, it's Milner.
That's the image director system. It's a way for some of the departments to scan and save documents, digitally, and because it's used by several different departments, it was just easiest to lump it all together and put it all in one.
That's the smirk I get on my face, I was like, I don't know what it is, but, yeah, like that is there, and then lawn care, and then I've got all the Johnson Control, Otis elevators for the different buildings, Gill Straps is 400 for the Welcome Center, and then we added Cliffs Fire to do monitoring and everything for this building. So that's all what I've got contract wise.
Okay.
And capital wise, I just did capital, I'm just trying to get the air conditioning at the courthouse finished. There's 2 more that are getting put in, and there'll still be 4 after that, and then all of them will be
How many
replaced
are out
within.
there?
There's 14 of them.
12? I was thinking 12.
So are we saying that, the 4 of these will take up 175,000?
I'm guessing with what we've been quoted on the other ones, it's gonna be right in that area.
Then we're gonna have to have some money for, other than just HVAC replacements.
That was gonna be my question, that's why I've got it highlighted in yellow.
Yeah.
I know I think the last couple of years, we've automatically just put in like,
We,
150 or
175 is what we've been
175.
putting in every year, but we haven't, and it's 175 here, but what we're
But that's
saying
for
is
the
that's already taken.
Oh, that's because we changed it, didn't we? Cause I know somewhere in this pile here,
Yeah,
when I did contract services maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I went 1 year, didn't put anything in because there wasn't anything that I wasn't like requesting a vehicle or lifts or anything like that. So there wasn't anything, but I think there was something that we changed within the last couple of years where
Yeah.
you were saying we're gonna put that in. So yeah, that, what I figured was for HVAC for the roof,
well, it's for HVAC, but it's not only HVAC.
right?
It's for all kinds of things, and we've used it for any number of things
Right.
over the years. So what I'm saying is, if we expect to spend 175 next year on HVAC alone, then 175 is not gonna be sufficient to budget. You know, I mean, I'd love to lowball it, but I also want a realistic budget. So,
And we spent the 175 last year, not just on AC. We spent that on.
not just on AC.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that we spent the whole 175.
But
It was way, for a lot more than just the HVAC.
right.
Yeah, like this year, I think we used it for
We did
roof at
some
the
roofs.
Welcome Center and then the roof at where UGA is now, the old health department.
Yeah.
That stuff, things like that came out of there. And then we bought 2 HVAC units for the courthouse, and then they'll be installed soon, so that came out of there too.
And the HVAC units, all these 4 are, I'm sure, just for courthouse, but we've replaced more than just courthouse HVAC. We've replaced
There's been a lot of HVAC we've replaced. There's been,
Because they're all reaching end of life.
yeah,
So that should be 350-ish.
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
If we're being realistic.
Yeah. Okay. It's like there's so many buildings now, just like vehicles, we have to just keep replacing the units to,
Well,
to make sure they're all,
those that we replace, we should expect to get 15 years out of them. But we're replacing them that are between 15 and 18 years old, and they're starting to fail. I mean, I'm not gonna replace them if they're still working, but
sure.
the problem is they've started failing. And it's not good when judges in their courtrooms are too hot to tolerate.
we made sure we're doing theirs to get them covered, but, well, just like here, we had to put some downstairs, and instead of putting a 10-ton unit in, they put 2 5-ton units in, and then they're all tied together. Well, 2 of them that of course weren't connected to each other went bad for the health department downstairs. You had to redo them, so to not change the whole building out and use the same ductwork, you go back and buy the 2 5-ton units.
Oh, right.
But you have to buy both of them because they were from 2005. So, they're 20-year-old units, so you had to buy 2 of them, so your cost goes higher. We've done a lot of them in here.
Yeah.
A lot.
Does the courthouse repair still seem to be in the jury assembly room? Is that still on track for,
It is. I got a hold of them because they weren't sending the information as to what we needed, like where this needed to go and what we needed for electricians and all that. So I wrote to them and I said, you're planning on starting this and we don't even have any diagrams or anything for an electrician to come and look at it to give us a quote on it. So they came, and then I put them in contact with Solutions is the company that's doing it. So I put them in direct contact with them and said, look, you need to talk to them about where they need things and get your blueprints from them and give them all that. So I don't know how they think they're gonna start on time, but they're planning within the next couple of weeks to start it. So,
It's October 6th, what?
yeah, that's it.
yeah, that's when I think they're starting.
And I know your guy that's doing a lot has got a lot going on, but any news on community center change out?
That, we actually, Charlie and Edwina and I are talking to companies that will build, whatever they call them. I call the desk. I'm a simple guy. Yeah, a big
That's
desk.
a good word.
And we just heard back from her today. They're looking at one. They'll do like a custom built
Speak of
with
the devil.
whatever we need for how many people we need and all that. Putting outlets in them and stuff like that. So we're just waiting to hear back. I think the last one she sent was they wanted no choice of colors.
But in the meantime, we'll just put a couple of tables together and do it. That's not a permanent solution, but it's not gonna hold us back.
Are we still planning on, is that our October space meeting?
It's gonna have to be
Yeah,
because
right.
the jar is not gonna be available.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just ordered some microphones to try out over there. So they should be here next week. So I'll get those put in.
I
So
think
they'll
the
be
metal
in for the-
detectors were dropped off today.
Oh, they were?
Yeah,
Okay.
the sheriff said earlier.
So that gets us closer. Still nothing to set at for a little while, but I made sure the speakers and everything in there work, so all we needed was some wireless to hook up. So they're just little, kind of like what you use over there, but not the same brand. I told him those were $650 a piece to get a wireless. So we're trying something else, but it comes with, I think there's 8 of them, and we can control individual sound and everything on them. So I'll get that hooked up and try it for that meeting. If we don't like them, I'll just pack them up and send them back.
Good plan.
Anything else?
Good.
Yep, I'm good.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you,
That was-
Eric.
That's pretty simple.
You gotta do.
I don't even have anything to talk about like Jim. I'll just let y'all be done.
That's okay.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Sure. Huh?
Jim doesn't need something to talk about.
No. No, I went back to talk to her, I went and said, you got a second? I said, well, Jim's in there. She said, you got a couple seconds. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'll take Jim's trash with me too.
But you know the thing about Jim though, when he hears what he wants to hear, he is up and gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what is, she always telling me?
Yeah.
Don't talk, you already got it, don't talk yourself out of it or something, what is it
Don't
that
buy
you
it
say?
back.
Yeah, don't, yeah, you sold it, don't buy it back. There you go.
back. I always like it, don't be that guy that can't take yes for an answer.
There you go. All right,
Thank you, sir.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Trip over the cord. Thanks, Eric.
We've got 35 minutes before our next.
Okay. My notes from 2025 budget. I have a note that she requested 25,000, but the discussion was that 25,000 could be accommodated in the 750 that we were using for this building.
Okay, so we did take her money.
We did take her.
Sorry about that.
Well, but
It's okay.
on the upside, there's still something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and less than,
Still get
I mean, what
25.
you're asking for.
But we don't know how much, so.
But did you see, that's all she's asking for her renovation.
Yeah, so that, yeah.
And actually, as, I think I'm gonna have a little left over, and after Sandy does her magic and adjusts some of my stuff, I may have some left over that I could start using this year if they could start working. But I don't know what his,
Well, that would take a budget amendment for this year, because all this is, we're doing here is for, won't go into effect until 26.
26.
But are you thinking you'll have some left in your
Yeah,
25
my
budget that could
25
go toward
budget,
it?
Oh, so if you're talking about the 25 budget, yeah, if anything you got left in 25 budget, you could start using in 25.
Okay, because there's signs that I think I need to get, you know, to direct traffic and, you know, better than some
Well,
of the.
that wouldn't be a capital though. Are we talking capital now, Sandy?
No, I didn't have any capital for 25, I guess that's what y'all took,
Okay.
right?
You're talking about out of your M&O,
So,
she's
yeah.
talking about just out of
Okay.
her general fund.
Yeah,
All right,
out of
so
my
that
supplies
wouldn't be a
and,
problem then.
yeah, supplies and materials.
Okay.
Oh, and Sandy, I was gonna say the telephone, the $1,000 for the telephone, I don't have a county phone anymore.
That would be ETC too, though.
Oh, okay. So like when I called Trevor to come over, is that,
Mhm, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
Anything that's gonna be, that will come in on the ETC bill.
okay.
But wait, if you're talking about getting a county cell phone?
I said I had one, but I turned it back in because I can't get my people to use it.
Oh,
They won't call it, they call my personal cell phone, so,
Okay.
and I understand my personal cell phone is, that it's okay, don't have anything on it. So, and I just turned it back in. Cause they wouldn't use it, they wouldn't call me on it.
Now, actually, Tammy, since you brought up supplies and materials, what is that for? Cause you aren't using it this year?
Well, we have let me go to my thing.
Change.
The supplies and material are like, if I have to, order paper
For the voting machine?
For the voting machines, because,
Special paper and.
it's special paper, special price.
Mhm.
I did that and then I couldn't use it. They changed it. We all, a bunch of us counties ordered a large number of paper so we could, you know, at the end of the year, if I've got money left, you know, some extra, then I'm gonna get supplies for the next year.
Oh, right.
And, then we
They
could use
changed the paper that we
Yeah.
use next year.
So that paper can no longer be used, so I've had to order a long,
So you'll, this is anticipation of ordering paper.
ordering some more paper, yes, I'll get it when I'm sure it's not gonna
That's the
change
one you're gonna
again,
use? Yeah.
for next year.
Lesson learned.
Yes, yes. And then like the signs and different things that we might need, or, poll pads, we might need an extra poll pad or something. I mean, I usually take it out of that supply, but,
What is the POPAD?
the poll pads are the little machines when you walk in the door and you put your
Oh, okay.
license in.
Hmm.
Because, you know, we did enough to have at every precinct, so we're really in good shape with that. But, you know, just in case something, those are not, under warranty like the voting equipment are. They're under warranty, but the poll pads aren't, so, you know, you never know when
Mhm.
it could go down and I might need to get some more.
And as far as we know, the voting machines are staying the same.
Yes, for right now, we'll
Certainly
see
for
25, 26, they're gonna stay the same. And we don't know about that, after 26 comes, we don't know what's gonna happen. You know, there's chitter chatter out there that it was at our last conference, we had some different vendors again showing their equipment, so, you know, you don't know, and just have to wait and see. We learning
We're
all
gonna go
over
to the paper
again.
ballot. I said, we're gonna go to the paper ballot.
I didn't bring that, there was a ruling on some of that. As of right now, it's still a no, it's been voted no for right now. But I got it this morning and I was looking over some of the changes that they were saying that, you know, we were gonna need to do. Just like on election day, make sure, which they do it when they bring their stuff in. We check the numbers and make sure everything matches before we let the poll workers leave, but it's something we're gonna start making them, asking them to do before they leave the precinct, you know, so. We're gonna be training them, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing all that, so. And then, of course, if I have money left over that I don't spend, I give it back. And I make Charlie smile at me.
Have you ever gotten money back from anyone?
Every now and then.
Every once in a while. Every once in a while I have. But I did get a call from him because he was very shocked and asked me, what's going on here?
Oh, because you gave money back?
No,
Oh,
because we had a rise that wasn't really expected and
Gotcha.
in our training, so.
Mm.
Because we have a new board, so it's been an
All right.
experience.
How's that going?
It's going good. It's going really good. Everybody gets along, knock on wood.
That's great.
Problems,
That's
the most important thing.
That's right.
It wasn't a hard transition.
Mm.
I thought it was gonna be, but it's not. They're
Great.
great.
Good.
Yeah.
She has to keep the chairman in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a very good chairman.
He is a good one.
He is. I have to talk him down.
But you know who keeps him in line for
Yes,
bills.
I do.
Right.
I do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've had to call her a time or two, so I know where the real control comes from.
Don't make me call him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He'd say, you just go right ahead. You just go right ahead and call him.
Oh, and as we're talking the Town Creek precinct, you know, the First Baptist bought it and they're letting us stay there.
Great.
And we've got a contract that we've approved, now we're waiting for the church to approve it, and they don't wanna charge us anything. But per our attorney, we have to pay them something, so we're gonna pay them $1 a year. And, yeah, so we're really pleased with that. Plus, it's gonna be a nicer facility once they get done with it, so we're looking forward to that.
I'm friends with several of them working out there, and they're gonna have the men's soccer out there, which is very beneficial for our youth
The
program.
little, Alpha and Omega Church, they are so proud of that building, they have just done all kinds of work down there. It is.
Yeah, a great partnership. Thanks, First Baptist. Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah,
It's a nice community, again.
yeah. They've redone the sidewalk up front. We're so excited about that because that's the handicap entrance, and so it's like, oh my gosh, our people are gonna be so excited.
It's great.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, any more questions, anything?
I don't have any.
I don't have any.
Either.
Did you have anything? We've already talked about all your capital stuff, and that's pretty much,
Yeah,
you got your office and computers and.
yeah, because I've been trying to update, keep a cycle of rotating on the computers to keep them updated. And, one of the things that I'm probably gonna do with my supplies is I'm gonna put a camera system in the back where my ballots will be.
Yeah.
So I've gotta get with,
ETC?
no, who's our guy in the sheriff's department?
Frank Copeland?
Frank Copeland, yeah, that's who Stacy was talking to.
Before Sam gets here, I gotta make a quick phone call. I'll be right back.
We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are, I'll tell you all the stuff that's going on. We're working on an emergency plan for all the precincts. Like, that was something that they told us at the conference that we really needed to get in place. Not that we expect anything to happen, but we've always had Gary, and we didn't really worry about it. But now, you know, he's not active in the EMS anymore, EMA. So I've contacted Aaron Freeman, and he's working on getting a plan together, and we're gonna hopefully have it ready to bring it in front of our poll workers, and so they can, you know, feel confident on if something shows up, this is what you do, you know, instead of everybody panicking. And you know, they mainly were telling us about it in the conference because of precincts that are in schools, you know, and which we don't have. We're fortunate that we don't have to have any precincts in schools, so. But it is something that we're working on, so.
That's good, that's good. Better to be safe. Right.
Yeah,
It's crazy times.
you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I ask one question, on your postage line, is that good? For
Yes.
26?
Because we have now contracted with Knowing,
Okay.
for our mail outs to the voters.
Okay.
They do it and they get a cheaper postage rate than what we can even get, so.
They do a bulk rate. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why my Knowing bill is very high, because we've done a lot of stuff this year. early voting starts October 14th. Expect to see you guys there.
Wow.
It's gonna be early this, oh well.
Somebody actually asked me that, and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, the 14th, we're going Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, Saturday from 9 to 5.
So that is during Apple Festival again, and
yeah.
Apple Arts, etc.
Yes. And we've worked together about parking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's something too, I wanna get me a sign to go out there in the parking lot for the vendors, so they know they can't park there, because
Yeah.
they like to use our parking lot during that time. And, but last year, they worked really good with us.
Great.
And they actually reached out to me this year, I didn't even have to contact them first, so.
Nice. Good.
We have a bunch of good people here in Gilmer County.
Yes, we do. We're
Liz.
so fortunate.
List.
We are. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
That didn't take long at
Thank you for
all.
coming.
You're welcome, and I didn't even have to drink my water, I figured I was gonna be sweating bullets.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Hey, how are you?
See ya.
How are you? Sir, how are you? How are you, sir? Just lovely. How about you doing, sir?
Good.
Is this where we need to grab the
How you doing, sir?
Yeah.
Sam West.
You know that guy?
To the east side west.
Oh, I'll get some of them in a minute.
What's another one?
I'm not gonna trip on your cord, but I'm gonna get down here,
You wanna do it?
get it
I'm
parked.
feeling
I'll
so
do it
lazy.
later.
I don't know if chocolate's gonna get thrown this way or not, but I'm gonna grab
I can make it worse than you make it.
There-
We don't throw chocolate because it's too good.
Is that what? It says pumpkin, that's a fruit.
Look,
That must
you're
be-
sitting down there with the person that actually hands them the check.
This ain't your first rodeo.
Not just a hat rack.
Not the decision makers.
Charles Hyde, you know Charles.
Yeah.
He's missing.
Really?
We're currently out.
He's got Alzheimer's, does he have?
Yeah,
dementia?
Charles Hyde.
They are currently looking for him.
Huh.
He's up in his 90s.
Yeah.
So we've got about 15 firemen out there.
I got it right
5 or
here,
6
no, I've seen it
officers,
enough,
so
I got it right here.
I just left
Thank you,
Daniels
though.
with
I never
her.
did.
You know, it's Randy's daddy.
Where is it? What was he doing, do you think? I didn't know. When was he last seen?
He was married to Tony Davis' mother, and she died. And I didn't know what somebody was spotted him somewhere first. When I saw that, he died. She died. Yukon, so I went to play.
They live out here, Randy?
All through there.
Did they live out that way?
I don't know where he was. That's a long way from here. Some girl got a walk.
Yes, it is.
And with his wife. And
Where'd we
I
know
don't
him?
know what happened after
Hmm.
that. How long has this been happening? About 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe they'll find. We had a lady that walked up our Flat Ranch Road 3 times during the middle of the night. I'm a late nighter, so I would be up at midnight and she'd see my light and she'd come to my door. She was just out walking, and her husband, you know, I always called sheriff's department, and they came and got her and took her home. And finally, they told him he had to be in, in a facility that she couldn't get out.
Barbara's sister is
So
in
hard.
memory care now.
Oh, she
Really?
was, oh, I'm sorry about that. She was in that place down
In Canton.
in Canton, yeah.
She was in assisted living, but it progressed to the point that they put her in, it's the same facility, but they have a memory care section.
Yeah.
Is it Providence?
And I don't think that's what that is. It's,
Near Reinhardt?
it's on Reinhardt Road.
Yeah.
And
I
almost
think they
immediately when you
changed
turn
the
right.
name of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like going to the movie theater.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
turn right on Reinhardt, it's
Uh-huh.
almost immediately on your left,
My
right, like at the top of
My
your hill.
grandmother was there. Yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, and Barbara says they really do well.
Yeah, good there.
So the factor we used this morning of 0.5 goes to 0.35 for them.
we take this final number down here and multiply it by 0.35, and then y'all just do the best.
I thought we said 0.25.
I mean, that is,
But
that's
I
an
said,
option.
but I said 35,
Okay.
and you said okay.
We appreciate you giving us 10%.
Who's speaking on your behalf?
Go ahead, sir. Wonderful. So, the budget that, we turned in, we've got a total increase of 17%. That's what it looks like. I just did some numbers and stuff yesterday. Salary and wages for us are right now the biggest increase, just to be able to catch us up with the surrounding counties. The pay study that, Patrick did for basically what everybody's making around us, that 16% in salary and wages jump would be more for some people than others. It would be a little bit more for EMTs and a little bit less for paramedics. And that gets us to what other surrounding counties are currently making.
I take it back about Patrick, I think he's costing us too much.
So that doesn't include if they have a pay, which I'm sure they're gonna do pay raises again this year, but that's just kind of how far behind we are. And of course, we
But I
always
have a
discuss.
question right up front.
Yes, sir.
You said 17% increase,
Total for the fire department, yes, sir.
but I'm looking at the bottom line here and it looks like a decrease.
Well, because you've gotta remember, last year's budget had that $2 million capital outlay for the fire truck. So what I did was I subtracted that. But if you'd like to look at it as a decrease.
I had forgotten that the fire truck was coming out of the general fund and
Yes,
not
sir.
capital.
Yeah, because I think we moved it over to the.
I remember we moved it over to general, but
Yes, sir.
I automatically go to capital when I start thinking $2 million.
Same, but that's why I kept thinking, there's no way we've got a decrease, and then I'll remember.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yes, sir. So that's the biggest increase for us in salary and wages. Another big increase, I say that's not the biggest, our retirement contributions. We based those on the proposal that Patrick had put forth for the retirement contributions, so that's what it would be if we got what we asked for in salary and wages, which is a significant increase. We understand that as far as the retirement goes, but that's another thing that we've been working on attempting to fix.
That's something else too. All of them should be basing it on that, at least initially. So.
Not on
that's the
the,
case.
Patrick is gonna give you all that presentation when he comes to, whatever day it is, he comes.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to go back to every one of these budgets, so, and,
Put it in. Fill it in.
fill it in for whatever we.
See, I don't have those
decide.
numbers, I haven't gotten all those numbers from Patrick, and unless the department has talked to Patrick about it and gotten the number from him, then, and they have,
Yeah.
I don't think.
I just wanna make sure everybody's on the same.
Yeah.
It'll have to be adjusted for that.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir. 52% increase, I think you added that for our workers' comp, Sandy, because she's got that number, so that was just came from her. I think we've had some workers' comps claims this year, so that's gone up for us.
Wait, hang on, you went up 52 on them? Was that payroll?
That was on the original budget. You remember, we had to do a big adjustment for workers' comp.
Yeah. Okay.
He's probably basing that 52% on what their original budget number
250, not
was.
the 417.
Yeah.
Whatever number was it, you gave us.
52,000.
Because these
operating
were,
off of.
we started these worksheets in June,
Yeah.
and we had not made that.
I just based that off the numbers that you gave us as far as.
But
all
$2,000.
Not 52%. Okay,
Correct.
gotcha.
On your sheet, you see.
I'm good.
You'll get it. You got it.
Our dues and fees have gone up a little bit, almost, that's an increase that we've had. The utilities this year have drastically been more expensive for us. Some things that we can talk through on that is, we've got a lot of our fire stations that are also used as community centers. But we're paying the gas and all of that kind of stuff. I think that was an agreement that was worked out long before any of us were sitting in these chairs. So, that's something that we can go look at if we've got a couple of stations that may not be usable for us anymore. That makes sense, but that's a discussion for another time that we can kind of eat some of that in cost as well. But based on year-to-date utilities, that's kind of our projection for next year if everything stays the way it is. Gas, food, things like that are all staying the same for us. Professional services, we've gone up a little bit on our training budget as well, because we've had a lot of people that have been going and doing some outside training, which has been really, really good for us this year, getting some people more higher qualified to do some things like they're out there doing now. looking for that gentleman, so we've got guys that are specifically and specialty trained in those aspects, so that's been a good thing. So those are kind of the big increases that we've had. Health insurance is up, I think, 9.4%, that's based on the projections. Actually, it's a little bit less, I think you adjusted, you adjusted that, based, good, because we just adjusted what Patrick said originally, he said just what he said per person, so we just kind of did it based on that, but it's actually a little bit less than that, so. That's really kind of where we're at, I'm sorry. And then all of our.
Got 'em way down.
Yes, sir. Then actually our social security, Medicare, and those kind of things, those increases are based on what we've presented for salary wages as well.
Now, on the salary and wages, is that any additional people, or?
No,
This is-
that's on
Let's just bring that up.
I'm sorry.
Yep, don't read it. That's current, positions that we have. There's a different sheet for
And I
new
need to,
positions.
I don't have copies of that, and then let me go get those. Do you have them?
I've got it. Well,
Let
I've
me
got it,
make
you
a
can just
copy of
make
it.
copies of it.
This is the, additional funding that it would take for another med unit.
Good grief.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
And that's the additional personnel for the man.
Yeah, I'll make copies of this for you.
And how many people do we say that would take? Was it
Well, 12.
12?
Yes, sir. So you want, I mean, I don't have those numbers in front of you, but when you get it, I've got it. And that's, the reason I put that on a separate sheet of paper was because that is honestly dependent on a fifth med unit, if we do the fifth med unit or not. If we decide not to do the fifth med unit, then that.
I think we're locked into that fifth mid unit since we raised taxes for it.
Well, that's up to you guys, but it's a significant additional increase for the county yearly. So,
Well, we gotta have it, I think. Personal opinion.
I agree, I'm with you.
To fulfill the pledge.
That too.
Because we just darn need it. Plus, we just darn need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
Well, I mean, we have to fulfill the purpose,
Mhm.
but over and beyond that, we gotta have the 15.
Keep down the road long enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump to ask this question, the 520, it's on 520,000 for an ambulance, it's on here, is that the fifth unit, or is that, did I understand the fifth unit's coming out 25?
I thought the fifth unit was already funded for 25.
A replacement ambulance was funded for 25, however, because we've been able to get a couple of others, the one that's coming in 2025 can be placed in services that can.
Yes, that will actually be the fifth med unit, but to be able to keep our rotation of having to replace every year. By the time, if we order one right now, if we order that one right now, we won't see it until 27, the way things are, the way
It's
things
still that
are.
far behind.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's.
The only reason we were able
this
to,
one here.
Yeah, I know,
So,
I thought they would catch
That
up.
money we won't spend until 27.
You know, that'll be for the 27, but.
and so the reason we were able to get a little quicker last time is we went and bought the chassis ourselves, so we had that conversation. That's really the issue, is the chassis, so.
And
really-
it would actually take about 3 to 4 months off that day if we were, say if we were to order it tomorrow. But, we still don't pay for it till it gets here. So that would speed things along, if it was agreed that we order it now.
Yeah, and just say, for instance, if we order November 1, all right, I say 27, could be November, December 20, it would be towards the end of 26, end of 27 before we'll
What if
we'll
we
see that.
order it, like, let's say March of 26, and with the expectation of getting it early in 27?
It would probably be second or third quarter of
27, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless something drastically changes, which I don't see, with the fire trucks and anything that's custom built, like what we use, is,
I just don't wanna get in another situation like we got in with the ladder truck when we were expecting it to be in 26, and we had to actually pay for it in 25, because we got it earlier. It's good to get it earlier, but we need to.
now, if we could work the timing out between Custom Works, who does our ambulances to where, say, we order it in time and we won't, with the agreement of we won't take delivery of it until first quarter 27.
Yeah, we can put in the bid when we would like to make
Okay,
it.
Yeah.
that'll work, because we need to be confident that we're not gonna have to come up with this in 27 if we take it out of the 26 budget.
Right, and if, there's two, it's 100% see where y'all are looking at it, and then with us, waiting until March and having that coming in second or third quarter of 27 could put us in a pinch, but I think
Yeah,
between us and Custom Works, we can actually work this.
But keep in mind, we'll also be asking for another main unit in the 2027 budget as well. So, because that's gonna be.
That we could get in 27, that we'll be
No,
able to get.
it would be a 28.
It would be
Well,
a-
then we'll need to do the same thing.
Yes, that's what I'm
Right.
saying, cause we kinda have that, we gotta replace them, they can't last more than about 5 years.
Well, when we get to the point where we can get one in a reasonable time frame, we'll have to budget it for that year.
Yes.
Right.
But if
Yes.
we're having to wait a year to get it, then, I think we budget it the year, for the year we're actually getting it.
Is this one that we're ordering or that is coming in? I'm a little confused now with this, but the one we have, the next one coming in, can that be number 5? Or,
Yes.
okay, so we'll have 5 on the road.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, as long as we budget for the people to serve man. Okay.
So we won't rotate for that one, we'll just add it in with the other 4, but then we'll need to, this one we're talking about for 27,
This one right
will
here
need to
will
be a rotation.
replacement.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
So,
Okay,
But then we've gotta add this into here.
correct.
So everything on that list is the yearly cost minus 42,000, that's a one-time expense, that's bunker gear. But we would have to, we're not budgeted for an additional 12 sets of bunker gear. So that's the one thing that's just a one-time on that one, everything else is a yearly.
Well, this is roughly what y'all had told me it would cost.
Now, we did raise that based on raising salary and wages, the new rates that Patrick came up with, so that is the new proposed rate for those.
Yeah, but when I first broached the subject, y'all said it would be around $1 million.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's it's in line with what you said, and told me it was gonna cost.
Yes, sir.
You certainly can. No,
That's just the staffing,
just
the equipment,
Plan the money tree
and
outside this
Yes.
building, right?
3 or 4.
I hope you're fertilizing them.
And that's at the new retirement thing too.
Yes, sir. If it goes through, we just went ahead and,
So that's the worst case.
yes, sir, that's it.
Oh, new retirement's in this too, okay, that's,
Yeah, we did that for everything.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
that's good.
Side note here,
Yes, sir.
what is, I don't want to say what's the condition of your buildings, but is there, do you know of any big expenses that are coming up for structures?
A burn building, a training facility,
Okay, is that in here anywhere?
it's
Yes,
on
it's on
capital.
It's on capital.
And the only other thing is the 4 roofs we need to put on.
4 roofs,
On all the man stations.
is that in there anywhere?
No, it isn't.
I'm actually waiting on a quote for it.
Okay.
They've been out, I think they've been out to all 4 stations. I think they were out last week measuring and doing everything, so I should.
Was he gonna give that to you or Eric?
I think he was gonna give it to Eric, so Eric may have it in his. I don't know for sure.
I'll check with him and see, but
Okay.
if y'all get it, be sure you send it, because we need to put it in here. I don't wanna have to come back and ask for a budget amendment. for
No,
it.
he was gonna do that.
Yes, sir.
Is that, or is that maintenance, general,
What's it?
the roofs?
Oh, no, that should probably be capital.
Okay.
I think when we got a quote from them, 2 years ago, it was roughly $100,000. But that's
Four?
for 4, yes.
Dang,
But
they're not that
But,
big of
but we don't know,
buildings.
but we don't know what this one will
But
be.
this year, we're pricing, shingle and standing seam metal. If we do standing seam metal, we'll probably never have to do it again.
Yeah, we're looking at 50 years. I think pretty much the rate on those that.
But what y'all have
50
to
years.
understand is that I don't care if future boards take.
I started saying 50 years, I know what's going to work.
Is the price difference that much?
It could, it very well could be.
I think it's
But
probably gonna be, I don't know what, but
It'll probably be shingled again, but we're just asking.
I mean, they're not that big of buildings, It just, that seems high.
So that's station 1,
It costs me
11,
25,000 replacement.
12, and 14.
Little over.
Did it?
And see, the problem is we're doing all these stations at one time, which means we're gonna have to roof them all at once.
Maybe because insurance was paying the check to that.
Yeah, right, for you.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want it to be like government building, let's charge twice as much.
Well, I don't think I have any other questions for me.
Did you want to go over the capital?
Yeah, let's do that.
So this one will be the replacement, and the one we have coming in will be number 5.
will be number
Yes.
5.
That's correct.
Just want to have that correct in my head.
So the one, if this one that's in our capital, if we time it right, to where we can take delivery of per quarter, right?
That's
Oh,
what it is.
27.
Talking about this one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This,
So we
yeah.
can take this 520,000 off, but we're gonna be obligated to make sure that at that point that we put that back in on the 27 budget because we will already have ordered the ambulance.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Right.
the Bird building's more than I thought we were gonna be talking about.
You just gonna burn it, what in the world?
Well, that's
I was gonna say, like, can't you just go out in the community and find some buildings that people won't burn down?
Yeah.
Well,
I know it doesn't work that way.
Everything like that as well.
Amber,
And so,
Oh, missing person Charles Hyde.
is that a new app? Or is that just a regular?
I think all of the civil companies are kind of putting it on there. I think you can opt out, but not sure
I just
how.
wondered if it was our new app working. So,
Oh, no, that's,
So to speak on the burn building real quick, what you're seeing right there, that is, with the road department doing the grading, or the county doing the grading, which won't be a whole lot in there, but that is actually the concrete pad, which is 6 inches of reinforced concrete below it, which will give us a pad 10 feet bigger than the footprint of those buildings. Not to mention, fencing that section in,
and a retaining pond.
and a retention pond as well.
Where y'all, where do you propose this going? Where's? Up at Station 11 at White Path, the county, there's plenty of room for it right there on the county
Yeah.
property. Right there behind that fire station.
will you explain to me what this building does?
Can you pull her up a picture of one?
Might be
So
able to.
basically it's for our training center, because right now currently we have the burn building right behind Station 1, which we all know the developments and stuff that are kind of supposed to be coming out around that area, and we won't be able to use it anymore. This will be a 3-story that'll allow us to do multi-story practice. We can do all of our road stuff off of it. We can, like, literally anything that we can do for training, we'll be able to do, and it enhances our ability to certify people as well, including surrounding counties can come in and teach, state can come in and teach classes and things like that.
Do you charge for that?
We do not right now, but we can.
We can, once we get the permit, and also, this will count, it will be a state certified
Yes.
facility, which counts towards our ISO points.
Massive amount.
a massive amount of points.
So,
And we have to have that retention pond because obviously the runoff coming from that building, it's not toxic, but it's got, does have chemicals in it, but it does have, carbon and things
You
like
just
that.
burn
So,
pallets and.
yeah, all we do is burn pallets.
But the retention pond is part of the 350 though, right?
Yes.
and the way that land lays, that's not gonna be an issue, the way it drops off. Basically, it goes into almost a little valley off the back of that, and between the railroad tracks and where we're talking about setting the building, it should be pretty good, pretty easy done. Won't be, I think we can get away without having any dirt hauled in there or hauled out of there. We can pretty much make everything where we need it.
So this is a building that you can reburn.
Constantly,
yes.
for years and yes.
And I started saying that should do us for, it's sort of gonna be like the 50-year roofs on the building, we'll never have, unless some catastrophic tornado gets it, we'll never have to revisit it again.
Everybody in this room will be retired and won't have to worry about it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not sure new mattresses are gonna qualify for capital though. What do you think?
That depends on how much we spend on them. If it's over 5,000, if we spend
If
over
it's
$5,000.
500, it's over 5,000, but, okay, works for me then.
I mean, worst case scenario, if we had to add that to, our station, the station fund, the station maintenance, we can do that.
Well, typically, we have an easier time funding one side than the other,
Yes, sir.
but it's not consistent. Sometimes we have more funding on the capital side, sometimes we have more on the, and I don't know how this is gonna turn out yet. So. But we always have the option of moving anything from capital into general fund.
Yes, sir.
We just can't move it the other way.
That Knox system that you see on there, the Knox key secret system, so every business in the county has a Knox box on it, which allows us to be keys to get in and out of the building. Well, the thing is, we have to be able to secure those Knox keys right now. Right now, we don't have a way to secure those. And that's a massive liability for the county, because if anybody can get that Knox key, well, now they have access to any building they want in the county. So it's a huge liability. So what this key system is, it'll go in all of our trucks, the fire engines, and that key is locked in there to where you have to put in your code to get the key out, and you can't put, and it monitors every single person that takes it in and out, and then when you put it back in, the truck can't drive if that key's not in or can't move as long as that key is not back in there. So it's a secure way for us to do that. It's also gonna have a digital pad as well on there, to where you can take the digital key out of it. We're not gonna make everybody in the county retrofit to that, but moving forward, we'll have to move to the digital key. It's a cost of an additional, I think, $50, but they gotta buy the Knox box anyway for new businesses. So we'll just do that, so that's an even better way. So the Knox box itself will tell you exactly who it is that opened that box and closed that box, so.
Let me ask you though, if this is a tremendous liability, shouldn't we just go ahead and do that now? And not wait till 26?
If we had the money, if we budgeted, we should. Right now, we've got Knox keys, I think all of us have one, and the battalion chief has one. They're just not on the trucks, but the battalion chief is
But they're not
available
secured.
to respond. They are not secured, no, sir. It's on his key ring.
We're in that time of year when we're getting our money coming in. I would almost say it'd be worth a budget amendment to go ahead and get that taken care of. If y'all are
We can do
in
it.
agreement with that.
Absolutely.
You okay?
I'll look through our current budget and see maybe where we have some leftovers to see.
Well, if not, let
offset
us
some
know,
of
we'll
that.
do a budget amendment, but let's not wait till 26 for that.
Yes, sir. I will get prices, I'll get that stuff started tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, I gotta take this one, sorry. Hello?
Just slide his chair out in the hall, so he doesn't have to get up.
Yes, speak. January 13th, 1947.
Maybe he's getting the schedule, whatever that was, he needs to.
It's like, this is the most fun we get to have all year long.
At least we have good snacks.
That doesn't sound sarcastic at all.
It's what it's supposed to be sarcastic.
This is the arguing about stuff. That comes later.
That comes later. That comes later when Sandy gets through adding on revenue, you know, right? Jim Smith's been talking about her forked pencil.
He's always talking about my forked pencil.
We'll turn that blue on, so we'll go back.
Do what?
We'll turn that blue on.
Yeah, there you go.
She's about to get him overnight.
That's funny.
He just asked for it.
My money's on there to win them.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Is your, burn building now 3-story or just one story? I didn't remember seeing it. I know y'all have done trainings back there.
Right, and you know, they're building all that, all the apartments and Publix and all that, and it's just gonna back right up.
Oh,
on
yeah.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, is public, have they broken ground or anything? No.
I think they're supposed to break ground.
What else we getting? Do tell. What else we getting?
Chicken salad chick,
Are we really?
I'm all in on that.
and, what else did he tell me? Another one, but I can't remember what it was.
Publix?
Is the chicken salad chicken
Oh,
salad
So this is not, there's a couple of different models. So this is one that we're looking at, and basically what it allows what we call a burn room on the main floor and a burn room on the second floor. So basically what we are able to do is we're able to do at-grade burns, above-grade burns, and below-grade burns, like basement fires. All of this up here, you have a Gooch simulator, which is basically when we vent, we have got holes in it, holes that vent smoke out.
During
As
COVID,
you
they
can
would,
tell, this
you
is
could go
got rails
online
up
and
around
order,
it.
and they would
The
bring
one
it
we're
to
looking at
the
actually has
courthouse
rails up
parking
on the
lot
very
on Friday,
top
on
side of
Friday
it.
evenings. Do you remember that?
And,
Yeah,
we can do
this was,
road training.
one from Dawsonville or one in
There's
Dyer.
a lot that we can do with it. So it's not just actually to set on
You
fire.
could go
We
online
do a
and
lot
order,
of search training.
and they would
in their interior search and rescue. There's, I mean, it's a multifaceted building. So it's not just something you go out there and light it on fire. It's a steel. It's basically built out of the Connex boxes that you see going up and down the road, the tractor trailer stuff, but it's full steel.
Well, Charlie, while you were out, we went ahead and hashed it all out. They said we were good, so.
Great.
No arguing or anything.
We're going to 6 ambulances.
All right. I may require one full time. I want y'all to know though that, last Wednesday, when, doctor's office called and told me I needed to get to the ER right now, I decided rather than go here, I was gonna drive to Piedmont, Jasper, to that ER because, and Barbara wanted to know when I was gonna do that, and I said, because if they decide they're gonna keep me, which they did, I don't wanna have to arrange for an ambulance to get me down there.
I bet we could've found one.
I bet you could do that.
Take one out down there? You didn't want to use one?
I've called him, he's already down on the way.
We don't mind.
Well, it wasn't like it was a big emergency or anything.
Well, the doctor said get them right away. It sounds like
Well,
an
yeah.
Kind of an emergency.
Well, I didn't realize it was as serious as it was till I got there.
He's running short on potassium.
It's way short. So, yeah, they told me they were gonna admit me, and I said, I can't stay, my wife's having surgery tomorrow, and they're responsible, we can't let you leave.
Oh my gosh.
So that's when I kinda got the idea it might be a little serious. So, but they potassiumed me up.
Well, that's a good thing.
They almost overfilled him.
Yeah, they did. It was, when I got to the OR for the surgery, it was, and of course, what's your number? And I told them, well, we're gonna check again, we're gonna pull blood anyway, we've gotta make sure that you're not, hadn't dropped back down low. They came back in and said, you're almost high.
Maybe a little despair.
They call him Bud Bunny.
course, when they told me I'm almost high, I took that in the same vein as when Barbara told me one time I was almost late. And I made the mistake of saying, what's the difference between almost late and right on time? Never again. The proper, just in case y'all ever have faced that, the proper response is, I'm sorry.
I always default to yes, ma'am. That's kind of my go-to after 30 years.
Okay. So is there, do you have any other questions on,
I don't.
the tanker 12 upfit, you know what that is,
I'm sorry.
the tanker 12 upfit, that's the, and the, actually, there's another, engine 11 upgrade.
Yep.
Those two are is the ones we need to,
I think we talked about
we
one of
did,
those, but I
you just asked me to hold off till this budget,
Yeah.
to have to give it
Right.
done.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, if there's anything you can do with that. I'm good for y'all, I'm just gonna ask you,
Number
what can
one.
you do about? Oh, well, yeah.
Is that not enough?
That's gonna help a lot on our end.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it anyway.
Wrong.
It's,
What are you doing?
Why?
How are you doing?
I started saying,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
fire
okay.
hose.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, strangers?
Stranger?
You
Hey,
sit out here
Kevin.
and do this? No, no. Kinda like,
Budget.
I'm nervous to even walk in the room.
Budget meeting, Kevin.
No, y'all have all this. I got my feel.
Hey, doing good. Good.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Staying busy.
Good to see.
Fighting with your buddy Jim Smith there, Ken.
Well, we're taking 15,000 out. That's the big
Hang in there with
He enjoyed it though.
Yeah, not
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, off of it. Up this year.
So there's, yeah,
Bring it back today.
she is, it's already gone. And you just need something notarized? Does it have to be specifically by her?
That's fine.
Cause Rhonda can notarize.
That's fine.
You can notarize it, okay.
Well, if you look at it, if we're gonna move that ambulance to the 2027, there's the 520 you can knock off of it, plus if we had, if we're gonna knock off the Knox box and put it on this year's, there's another 15 grand, and then obviously fire hose, we could probably knock that off, because I think we're gonna have a surplus this year, but we'll know better in a few weeks.
Okay.
Because we still have a credit with, for some equipment with Fireline from the. The guys are doing who's testing on all the trucks in the county right now, so, we should know something in the next few weeks.
so there's 500 something thousand right off the top.
You know, I'd already counted that in my head.
All right.
Thank you all for what you do.
Thank you for meeting with us. We'll go look for lost stuff, I guess. I'll let y'all know.
That'd be great.
Please. I will.
Yes, I'll verify who you are.
He's in command, I just.
Yeah, we know you.
It's him.
If you find him.
It's him.
let me know so I can call him.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Did you take anything off?
We took off from them, the use one in the 27. The Knox system is going,
Now,
is coming off,
I've got that already.
and possibly the hose. Probably like,
So, just taking it off?
Just taking
Well,
it off.
they're okay if we have to take it off.
Yeah, we're okay if we have to.
Yeah, if we have to lose it,
Okay,
then that's.
I'll put remove question mark.
Yes, there you go.
We'll know a lot more in a couple weeks, when we're done with those testing.
Okay.
Well, we'll probably still be doing this in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, oh yeah, we'll be doing this for a couple of months.
Gotta go.
See you,
Bye,
Kevin. Take care, Kevin.
If y'all need me, I'll call you.
Okay, okay. Bye, Kevin.
Well, y'all have a great day. We do appreciate
Y'all
it.
too. Thank you.